friends at Summerfest in Milwaukee. And to wondering, where art thou, Romeo? At the Wisconsin Shakespeare Festival premiere this summer in Eau Claire. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Find more summer events at travelwisconsin.com.
Outdoor living here is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. And there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited and get creative about your yard. Your wishes, your ideas. Outdoor Living Unlimited's knowledge and expertise. Roll those dreams into reality. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com. That's OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
You've heard about Purple mattresses. Try it before you buy it at Steinhoffel's.
Keeping you informed, keeping you safe, keeping you engaged and entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story, shared revenue disagreements within the Republican Party.
I'm Sandy Max. Rules for food trucks closer to done.
I'm Greg Matzik. A travel day for the crew.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we start off with an accident. 41 southbound, just south of Appleton Avenue. We got the two left lanes blocked, and that's got backups all the way back to Highway 145 and just north of Good Hope Road. So watch out for those delays. Right now we're up to, from Highway Q to the Zoo, a 41-minute ride. So that gives you an idea. We've got big delays through there. Westbound 94 slow right out of the Marquette through the Stadium interchange, and then southbound 43 from Silver Spring all the way down past, or actually Bender Road all the way down past Silver Spring, almost to Hampton Avenue, where you can find that heavy ride. And while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
Tonight, increasing clouds, low of 53 degrees. Tomorrow, rain is likely, maybe a half inch or so, a high of 63. Right now, it's 62 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Senate Republicans and Assembly Republicans are at odds over a key ingredient in the shared revenue bill.
The measure passed by the Assembly Wednesday would require a referendum on a sales tax for Milwaukee City and County. The Assembly says the referendum must remain in place, but Senate Leader Devin LeMahieu tells the AP the Senate would likely remove that provision. So what happens now?
I've been in the same spots, both in the Assembly and then in the Senate.
Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow.
Where we've had a bill, we negotiated it, one house passed it, the other house made changes, it brought back, we discussed it, and we passed it together.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
A round of police officer recruitment will take place in Milwaukee tomorrow. Police Chief Jeffrey Norman tells Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth that he's hoping, or what he's hoping for in applicants.
It's not about you feeling like you actually are working towards something if you love what you're doing. You ask me why I'm still here. I'm 2.5 years past my retirement because I still enjoy what I do. But I know what I want to do at a young age.
Chief Norman saying he will take as many officers as he can get, but doesn't want anyone serving on the Milwaukee Police Department who doesn't want to be there.
A Milwaukee ordinance regulating food trucks now heads to the full Common Council.
The measure approved by the Public Safety and Health Committee this morning, it would create a zone where food trucks are limited to 6 hours in one spot and set a 1 a.m. curfew for them. Alderwoman and co-sponsor Jocasta Zamarripa.
What we have done here with this legislation is create another opportunity instead of implementing bans, which was the practice for years.
The ordinance would also create a second zone that limits the amount of trucks that can gather near places like Burnham Park, something Zamarripa says is important.
So as not to compromise the public safety of our constituents, of the children and families that frequent the park.
Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
A 60-minute class at the YMCA this weekend could save your life.
Number one cause of death in children 1 to 4 is drowning.
Proper adult supervision and just some basic life-saving skills, we can prevent a large number of these drownings.
That's Sam Seidel, Greater Waukesha County YMCA. Seidel says you can learn a lot in an hour, including how to respond when someone else is struggling in the water.
They can reach objects or find something to throw to their friend.
The classes Saturday at multiple suburban Ys are free and open to everyone. gycymca.org to sign up. Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
The best in the world showing their human at Oak Hill. Greg has more in sports up next.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 3:04.
This report is sponsored by Creative Planning. Give your wealth a second look. CreativePlanning.com.
Wealth-changing question. Is your investment portfolio really customized? Some advisors say they customize them, but all they really do is ask you a few questions, then put all your money in a model portfolio. Here at Creative Planning, each of our private wealth management clients' portfolios is unique. Your investment mix will be based on your custom financial plan. If that's not how your money's managed, you're not getting the customization you deserve. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Hey, WTMJ's John Burke here for my friends at Dave Drake Camp Heating. It's that time of year. We get occasional tastes of warmth, a much welcome reminder that summer's on the way. That means it's time to call Dave Drake Camp Heating to schedule your preseason tune-up. Whether it's overdue maintenance or repair you forgot to take care of last year or the need for a total system overhaul, do it now. Dave Drake Camp Heating is Lake Country's preferred Lennox premier dealer. They're ready to help. With healthy inventories, Lennox rebates, incentives, and possible tax credits, go with the company I trust. Visit DaveDrakeCamp.com.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved, but here you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Travel day for the Brewers after dropping 2 of 3 to the Cardinals in St. Louis. Milwaukee off to Tampa. 3-game series against the Rays begins Friday night. Brewers GM Matt Arnold spent several seasons with the Rays before coming to Milwaukee. About that ballpark in Tampa?
I've always kind of said it's like playing at Costco a little bit. You know, you just kind of walk around, you get your cheese cubes. You might hit a ball in the rafters there, and it doesn't come down. It's a weird place to play, but I obviously have a lot of good memories being here for about 10 years. But I wouldn't say it's my favorite ballpark. Let's put it that way.
Arnold, a guest on Wisconsin's Morning News earlier today. Brewers begin the day with a game lead over Pittsburgh for first place in the NL Central. Packers announced the preseason schedule for this summer. 3 games will be played. Friday, August 11th at Cincinnati. Saturday, August 19th at New England. Against New England at Lambeau. And Saturday, August 26th at Seattle. And round 1 of the PGA Championship underway from Oak Hill Country Club in New York. Day started with a 50-minute frost delay. Bryson DeChambeau is leading at 4 under par, followed by Scotty Scheffler. Handful of players at 3 under par, some of the best in the world, including Jon Rahm struggling. He was 7 over today. That's not good. And shout out to PGA Tour pro Joel Dahman. He hit a fan on the first hole. The fan's name is Caleb McGuire. McGuire later tweeted, "Hey, shout out to Joel Dahman for hitting my calf with a tee shot today on the first hole. He proceeds to ask me how much beer costs at the tourney, and I tell him $17 a pop. He then pulls out a crispy $100 bill and says, I got your beers today."
Oh, that's excellent. I love that.
Hey, guy sent the tweet out, and Joel Dahman said, "Sorry about that. Hope you enjoyed your beers."
Oh, that's a nice touch.
Numb the pain?
Good stuff.
Yeah, that'll help. 3:08 at WTMJ. The 3 at 3 up next.
Find great deals for outdoor work and play during Countdown to Summer at Fleet Farm. Going on now, get a Blackstone griddle on sale, $249.99. Plus, get big savings on vegetables and herbs for the garden, 3 for just $9.99. Beat the heat with deals on our selection of pools and coolers. And with our price match guarantee, you will always get the lowest price on your summer favorites. Countdown to Summer with savings for outdoor work and play. Going on now at Fleet Farm.
Hi, it's Mary Ann. Spring weather is certainly unpredictable, but at Heiser, our prices aren't. Find the perfect vehicle on our lots, or we'll help you special order one. You'll get upfront pricing, no hidden market adjustment fees, and we have inventory under MSRP. Stop in or shop online at Heiser.com. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
We're Ted and Pam.
owners of Church and Chapel Funeral Homes here in town.
Our family, serving your family.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
If you're looking for the finest of furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
Hope your Thursday's going great. Sandy Max is here. So is Greg Matzik, Debbie Lazaga, Adam Roberts producing the show this afternoon. All right, let's get to it.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's afternoon news.
All right, Sandy, what's up first?
A new food option rolling out for patrons at Potawatomi Hotel Casino.
That's right, brand new dining experience. It's a thing out there called the Potawatomi Marketplace. This is going to be pretty cool. It's kind of a quick service dining option, grab and go and snacks, but it's going to have actual food. It's a new restaurant concept that at the end of the day, a couple months down the road, will house 7 different spaces with 7 different cuisines. Right now, Burger Company and Project Pizza are the first to go in, but added in the coming months, a place called Mini and Wow, Small Bar, Gilded Cleaver, Queen of Ramen, and Taco Spot.
I like Queen of Ramen as a restaurant title. I'm curious.
Sounds good. At least you know what they're serving at Queen of Ramen. Mini and Wow and Small Bar, Gilded Cleaver. Not sure, but Potawatomi continues to get back on their feet following the pandemic. What's next?
After 18 years, the person responsible for stealing an iconic pair of shoes has officially been charged.
Yeah, so this is a strange story. So Judy Garland Museum housed one of 4 pairs of the beautiful slippers that were worn by Judy Garland. And in 2005, they were stolen. Someone broke into a case, got in and out in a matter of moments, and stole the shoes. The shoes were recovered in 2018. Now, 5 years later, someone is finally being charged. They're appraised at $3.5 million. $3.5 million. They've been recovered. They're in evidence now, so it's not sure what will happen to the shoes down the road, but this is good news.
And you hope they go back to the museum. And this was a fascinating story to me because of all the detective work that has gone on. And there are a pair of ruby slippers at the Smithsonian.
Right.
And they compared these shoes to those because you don't want forged ruby slippers. You have to actually charge this guy with the actual theft. So it was a fascinating story, and I'm a huge Wizard of Oz fan.
He'll get 10 years in prison if he's convicted. All right, what's the third story?
Coming soon to a street near you, the famous Oscar Mayer Frankmobile?
Yeah, this isn't going to cut the mustard. This is they're changing the name of the Wienermobile after 100 years to the Frankmobile.
What are we doing?
27-foot-long, 6-ton hot dog on wheels.
Come on.
This may be the worst idea ever.
I relish the opportunity to hear more.
Yeah, we should all relish that. This might not be the biggest crime, but it's definitely a misdemeanor.
Oh, wow. That was a little bit of a stretch, my friend.
Let's be frank. This is awful.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, this is just weird. Why? Why are you doing this? They want to promote that their hot dogs are 100% beef Franks. So they're rolling it out. It's going to say Frankmobile all over it. And on the back, it says, please do not lick. This is very, very strange.
No, this is all about wiener. That's all this is. This is about removing the wiener from the mobile.
And that's what makes it iconic. It's fun, and it's funny. And the wiener whistle that you get.
All the stuff.
Is that going to be a Frank whistle now? That's not the same. That's not the same.
This is a bad idea.
This is succumbing to pressure.
If you want it, the Frankmobile will be coming to you in Verona, Sun Prairie, and Beaver Dam next month. But
I'm not going to visit it. I'm out.
Heck no.
I'm done.
This is one of those.
They're dead to me.
I was going to say, brand missed. Yeah, it's just off the mark. It's so beloved and so fun.
So the drivers, the people who drive this thing around have been called hot doggers. We had a hot dogger on the show, as a matter of fact. They're getting their name changed, too. They're going to be called the Frankfurters.
Of course they are. See, it used to be a rite of passage. You see it on the road, you try and catch up to it. I'm no longer going to do that.
Yeah, I'm done. Out. 314 at WTMJ. Hey, shared revenue. We've been talking about this, and people in Milwaukee County, the leaders, are celebrating because it's going to mean a lot more money for them. Well, not everybody's created equal. What does it mean for places like Waukesha County? The Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow is with us live up next here on WTMJ. Start your weekend tonight with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hounds restaurant. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The food there is world class. The atmosphere warm and cozy. The staff is so friendly. Your second dinner is always free. It's the place to go. Enjoy the Northwoods pan-fried walleye. It's one of my favorites. The shrimp pasta, steak and lobster, a fresh garden salad, full slab of ribs, anything on the menu. Your second dinner is free. Desserts and ice cream drinks. Yeah, you got it. You buy one, get one free. Choose from over 100 wines, 20 fine bourbons for a perfect dinner, and the 7 wood-burning fireplaces. They will enchant you. Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, promotion, or retirement at the Fox and Hounds. Your second dinner is free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. The drive alone is beautiful. Weekends might be too busy for you. Enjoy your free dinner tonight. It's easy. In and out. Reserve your table at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. It is a gem. It is one of my favorite places. On Friday, it's all you can eat codfish fry for just about $15. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Come shop Memorial Day deals now at Lowe's. Prep your yard for the summer for less with 5 for $10 Scott's Naturescapes mulch. And save on appliances with up to an additional $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Find savings across the store today, like 5 for $10 mulch. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid to 5/31. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See store at Lowe's.com for details.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Don't you just love the WTMJ Fix-It Show? Hi, this is Matt Elliott from Elliott's Ace Hardware. When you think Fix-It, first you think about Saturday mornings on WTMJ. Then you gotta be thinking Elliott's Ace Hardware. Where else can you find such great staff, big brands, and all the stuff, and I'm talking all the stuff, to get your Fix-It done? So enjoy the WTMJ Fix-It Show on Saturday morning, and then head to Elliott's Ace in Elm Grove, West Dallas, Pewaukee, and Muskego.
Traffic is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Retire well with Kowal.
Retirement during uncertain times can be a scary thought, but you don't have to go it alone. Our fiduciary advisors are here for you. Call 262-522-4040 or visit thekowalway.com.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. How's that ride rolling, Deb?
Well, it's still kind of a hefty ride along 41 southbound, although it is improving. We have an accident just south of Appleton Avenue. It was blocking a couple of lanes. Now it's just off on the left shoulder. Still left with the 29-minute ride, though, from Highway Q to the zoo, so 15 minutes extra. Southbound 43 has gone a lot better. We're just a little bit tight right past Capitol Drive and then a little bit around the North Avenue curve and into the Marquette. Westbound 94, backing up a bit from the Marquette interchange all the way through the stadium to about Mitchell Boulevard. Then it starts to open up without much of a problem there. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, rain, thunderstorms, a low of 54 degrees. Tomorrow, maybe some rain in the morning, a high of 65. Saturday, mostly sunny, 67. Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 73. On Monday, partly cloudy, a high of 65 degrees and a pretty good stretch. Right now in Milwaukee, cloudy skies and 62 degrees. Paul Farrow, one of the really good guys, is the Waukesha County executive, and he is with us this afternoon on the WTMJ hotline. You know, we don't give this number out to everybody, but Paul Farrow has it. Paul, how you doing?
I'm good, you guys. How you doing?
Good. It's so good to have you here with us. So, Paul, we're talking a lot about the shared revenue proposal, and there's still work to be done. It's not finalized. The Assembly has passed a version, as you know. Now it's on to the state Senate, then the governor will weigh in. You're not a fan of this shared revenue proposal as it's currently drafted. Take us inside and explain why, if you live in Waukesha County, this isn't a great deal.
Sure, John. When you look at it and you listen to the rhetoric that's coming out of Madison, the speaker yesterday said that this is a historic situation. We're putting more money into shared revenue. We are tying some to the sales tax, so the growth will be there. But when they talk about it that way, as I've said before, that means we're probably not going to come back to this for another 10, 20 years. The last time we did any major changes was in 2004. So as we look at the numbers, and now that the bill has been out, they've passed it, I can sit here and look at the numbers. Waukesha County, we're the third largest county in the state, and on so many different categories, will receive $9.45 per person in the shared revenue formula. To give you a comparison, Milwaukee, just to our east, will receive $58.14 per person. So the concern I have is if we're not going to come back to this, the amount we're talking about, it's about $3.5 million for Waukesha County, is just barely enough to help us in 2024's budget. By 2025, we're back to square one trying to figure out how we're going to make ends meet.
So $50 difference per person between Waukesha County and Milwaukee County. I know we don't want to really get in the weeds, but is there an easy way to explain why there's such disparity?
There isn't. I mean, we know that Milwaukee has a number of different areas and they have challenging issues. They have a population of 900,000. We have 400,000. So there's a number of variables that are there. I think the biggest thing is when they put this formula together, and when you think about the speaker's come out and said he's not willing to negotiate anymore, I find it interesting because we spent 5 months trying to put pieces together, got the information out 3 weeks ago. That means the bill was out. So we've only been talking about what we can actually see for 3 weeks. This formula is very convoluted, and it's one of those where they're trying to help everybody. And in the end, we knew there's going to be winners and losers. I was just hoping that I wasn't going to be the last of everything in the state. Cities, villages, towns, counties, when you put them all on a list, Waukesha County is dead last at how much we're receiving.
Paul, I think we got a big problem here. If you're a fan of shared revenue, the referendum issue is at the center of all this. Robin Vos comes out and says that he's done negotiating, as you just clarified. He's done negotiating, and he has said that if others insist on this not going to referendum, that will kill the deal. We had Devin Lemahieu on the show this week, and he said, we're not going to vote for the referendum part of this. This should not be in the bill. The governor says this should not be in the bill. Are you surprised that Robin Vos has doubled down, drawn a line in the sand, and basically said, I know the other chamber hasn't drafted their legislation yet, but we're done negotiating. This is what it is.
I don't know if I'm surprised or not surprised. I think what it is, they want to get this complete and move forward before the budget process really gets underway. So we know where we got consistency in the shared revenue and can move forward with it. The challenge is, John, as you said, there's still a lot of questions. And is it a resolution by the common council, by the county board that can pass the sales tax, or does it have to go to a referendum of the people? There's different opinions on both. You've heard it. I know Tim's been on a couple of times, Tim Sheehy, and talking about how Milwaukee County and the city of Milwaukee are truly impacted by more than just the people that live there because of the way this whole region works. So I think there's a lot of conversation. I think that's something that still has to be hashed out and decided upon. My whole thing, too, is when you look at the formula, they put in some new components. And one of the things they put variables in, we'd like to see a couple of those variables changed, and I think it would help everybody out. So it's still an opportunity now that we see pieces to try to put the puzzle together. And it's a shame that the speaker has decided that he doesn't want to work on the puzzle anymore.
Speaking with Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow. Paul, two questions. Do you think there's any chance that you can negotiate with him, convince him to have a discussion to change some of those variables? Is there any reality to that?
Sure, Sandy, there is. And I've known Robin for, since I came in the legislature in 2011 and served with him, and I served in the Senate with him. I think there are opportunities, and I think Robin will be open. But the challenge is to make sure we know what are we trying to do? What is the final end goal that we're looking on the piece? And is this really it? Or is there other pieces that he still wants to put in there that we have to figure out? And that's what the discussions will be. And we'll keep trying to talk to him about what we can do.
So if nothing changes, and as you illustrated, you don't think another shared revenue plan would come about for another 10 or 20 years, and the money that you've been allotted for Waukesha County does run out by 2025, what other options will you need to look at to fund the county?
Well, that's the challenge for us, and we sit every single year figuring out what can we do and where can we go. We are one of 4 counties in the state of Wisconsin that does not have a county sales tax. And I have been told by a number of legislators going through this process, you still have that variable out there. I kind of find it ironic that the legislature, who's sitting on a very large budget, $43 billion, is telling us that if we needed our revenue, we should implement a tax instead of giving us more of the taxes that our people here in Waukesha County are sending to Madison. And that's kind of irritating. It's one of those where that's our last ditch effort to save things, but we'll keep looking at what we can do. And I got a great team here in the county that has worked every single year to come up with a bond rating that's AAA across the board, which means we're fiscally prudent and we're still providing the level of services that we can to the people in Waukesha County.
Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow, it's always good to have you on. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, you guys.
Here's why this is so problematic. Robin Vos, from a political standpoint, has now come out in the midst of, while this is not done, and people are negotiating, and people are working behind the scenes, and said, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm not negotiating. We're not changing the bill substantially. It is done. Why would he come out and actually say that when there's still work being done? He came out and actually said it while there's work still being done because he means it. He doesn't want to change it. You know how much face he now loses if he goes back and says, you know what I said on Wednesday, May 17th about this being done and not negotiating, and now I'm going to give up a major tenet like I'm going to take out the referendum requirement? He loses all credibility and all face. I don't see how he can go back on that. This is a big, big problem if you think that and hope that this deal is going to get done. It is 3:26 at WTMJ. Time for the Annex Wealth Management Market Update on your Thursday. Everything in the green. NASDAQ, S&P, they're all jumping amid debt ceiling talks that seem to be headed the right direction. The S&P was up 39 points today. The Dow was up 115 points. The NASDAQ was up 188. That's 1.5%. The Russell 2000 was also up 188. For a deeper dive on the markets, listen to the Annex Wealth Management SWOT podcast. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Listen wherever you find your favorite podcast. It's Annex.
You might have heard the old saying, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. The team at Annex Wealth Management tends to agree. Look at every inflation battle for the past 60 years. While not every facet is the same, there sure are similarities. Knowledge is power. How are you with financial rhymes? Do you know how previous investors did in the battle against inflation? Who succeeded? Who didn't? Our team of experts with a diversity of experience, insight, and opinion is what sets Annex Wealth Management apart. It's a team that works together to do what's in our clients' best interests. One team allows Annex to take a holistic approach to financial planning. And face it, that's something a do-it-yourselfer, one-person shop, or an inexperienced firm might find too challenging. Take a quick look at the headlines. We're not out of the woods yet. It's time for a seasoned team, a team that's seen it before, a team equipped to guide you on the path to where you're headed. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. AnnexWealth.com.
RJ Schenner has several Toshiba copier printers from James Imaging Systems. IT manager Gabe Colasari.
The reason why for James Imaging is their responsiveness, dedication, knowledge of the product, and they always make sure that the customer is taken care of.
The kind of customer service you'd expect from a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed office technology company like James Imaging Systems.
We actually have a high-end printing machine on site, so we produce our own catalogs, so we need the support to handle that.
James Imaging Systems, better document imaging technology, better service.
When we got a problem, we're able to call in and get it rectified or corrected without any issues.
Gabe, any advice to other local businesses?
Contact James. they'll take care of you.
James Imaging Systems, reliable document imaging technology, extraordinary local service. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Hey, Hey, former radio wake-up guy Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. If that recent cold snap made you think that now is the time to replace those drafty old windows, then now is a good time to call Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating costs now, cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from Hometown. Hometown offers the brands you trust like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softlight, and more in wood, vinyl, and fiberglass. And all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Plus, Hometown is the area's only Pella Platinum and Marvin authorized replacement company. Hometown's dedicated consultants can guide you to the best fit and value for your home and your remodeling dollar. Stop in at their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference for yourself. Or call them for a no-pressure in-home consultation, 414-329-1200, or visit them at hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
While you're navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329. Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, it's red versus red in Wisconsin.
I'm Sandy Max. New shoes from a very fast man.
I'm Greg Matzik. All eyes on Denver.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Southbound 41, just south of Appleton Avenue. We do have this accident on the left shoulder. It's 19 minutes to get from Highway Q to the zoo, 5-minute backup. Westbound 94 is going to be a bit heavy right out of the Marquette through the Stadium Interchange, 11 minutes there from downtown to the zoo. And southbound 43 on and off the brakes, basically from just before Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette and onto the high-rise bridge. Right now, 14 minutes to make it from Brown Deer Road to downtown. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 53. Tomorrow, rain likely, a high of 63 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Senate Republicans and Assembly Republicans are at odds over a key ingredient in the shared revenue bill.
The measure passed by the Assembly Wednesday would require a referendum on a sales tax for Milwaukee City and County. The Assembly says the referendum must remain in place, but Senate Leader Devin Lemieux tells the AP the Senate would likely remove that provision. So what happens now?
I've been in the same spots, both in the Assembly and then in the Senate.
Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow.
Where we've had a bill, we negotiated it, one house passed it, the other house made changes, it brought back, we discussed it, and we passed it together.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Federal health advisors debating whether a first-of-its-kind RSV vaccine for pregnant women is ready to roll out. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
A phase 3 trial of the vaccine in over 7,000 women found that the RSV vaccine was over 80% effective in preventing severe RSV out to 3 months and almost 70% effective out to 6 months.
A new Gallup study during this Mental Health Awareness Month reveals depression rates have climbed more than 7% since 2015. Over 18% of adults in the U.S. report having or being treated for depression.
Andrea Nauer-Waldschmidt from Milwaukee Behavioral Health Services says the pandemic isn't the only factor to blame for increased depression.
Environmental stressors when we look at work and school life, but then also the insecurities that people face, whether it be housing or food insecurity.
Nauer-Waldschmidt was part of a suicide prevention campaign that installed signs on Milwaukee Public Transit last week listing national and local crisis hotlines.
The more often and simplified messaging we can provide really reminds us that this is available.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
You won't need to cross the Atlantic for a taste of the British Isles. A restaurant inspired by the United Kingdom and Ireland is expected to open at Bayshore this summer, featuring classic dishes like fish and chips and shepherd's pie. It's called Buchanan's, and it will open on the second level of the rotunda across from ACX Cinemas, also set to open later this year.
I got a better idea. Cross the British Isles with Sandy. Sandy Max is going to England in October. That's the real deal.
You know it.
That's what people should be doing.
Come with me.
Yeah. Send an email to sandy@WTMJ.com. You can get all the information. I'm serious. Sign up today. Brewers hang on to first place in the Central. Greg has the latest on the Crew up next in sports.
And at 3:35, you will learn about shoes given by a very fast man. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:34.
Hey, John Mercure here with a couple of words about one of my favorite parts of summer here in Wisconsin. It's EAA AirVenture in Oshkosh. I love this place. It's a great family vacation for a day, for a couple of days. Heck, take the whole week off. I grew up making memories at AirVenture every year. My grandparents, my great-grandparents are from Oshkosh, so I grew up going to the air shows with the planes, the people, the food, the fun, the excitement. This year, the magic is from July 24th to July 28th. Excuse me, that's actually to the 30th. The 24th to the 30th, the end of July. Get your tickets at EAA.org. Create new memories for your family this summer. The 24th through the 30th, EAA.org.
If you're a veteran on active duty, reserve, or a military spouse, this is your wake-up call. It's time for basic training to be an entrepreneur. If you've ever wanted to own your own business, the Veterans Business Outreach Center is here for you. Get started today by texting the word VETERAN to 855-616-1620. The Veterans Business Outreach Center helps veterans of all eras. Just text VETERAN to 855-616-1620. The VBOC is an official program of the Small Business Administration and hosted by the Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation.
Find great deals for outdoor work and play during Countdown to Summer at Fleet Farm. Going on now. Get a free $20 Fleet Farm gift card when you buy any St. Croix fishing rod. Or get a 3-pack of Berkley Flicker Shad Minnows, just $9.99. Plus, find deals on our wide assortment of fishing gear from top brands. Countdown to Summer with savings for outdoor work and play. Going on now at Fleet Farm.
It's time to upgrade that old patio furniture with By the Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture. By the Yard furniture features no painting, no rotting, no splinters, no storage ever. With over 400 items in 9 UV-stabilized colors, By the Yard is proudly made in the Midwest and backed by a 35-year warranty. Explore By the Yard's outdoor furniture collection at their showroom location in Mayfair Mall, Wauwatosa, or visit bytheyard.net. That's bytheyard.net.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzek.
Well, the idle Brewers begin the day in first place in the NL Central despite dropping 2 of 3 against the Cardinals. Might be a little early to discuss trade deadline plans, but according to GM Matt Arnold, phone is always ringing.
It's all the time. We actually made a small trade yesterday, and we traded a minor league reliever to Oakland. And just these things pop up. You don't necessarily wake up thinking about them, but a team reaches out to me or one of our guys. We end up having communications, and sometimes deals come together very quickly. And then other times you have to put a lot of work in, and sometimes potentially there are even multiple teams involved. So they do take a long time in some cases.
Arnold, a guest on Wisconsin's Morning News earlier today. As for yesterday's deal, the Brewers send minor league reliever Lucas Erceg to the A's for cash. He's a former second-round pick as an infielder in the Brewers system. Milwaukee begins a 3-game series against the Rays in Tampa Friday night. In the NBA, the Philadelphia 76ers coaching search is expected to include former Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer. Meanwhile, Doc Rivers, fired by the 76ers this week, is considered by an NBA executive as a candidate for the vacancy in Milwaukee. On the floor tonight, the Lakers take on the Nuggets in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals from Denver. And Bryson DeChambeau, of all people, atop the leaderboard during round 1 of the PGA Championship. So they had to delay the start of today's event due to frost. Not a shock. And once they got up and running, the course proved very difficult. Scores were not good. If you teed off in the early morning rounds, only a handful of people under. Jon Rahm, one of the best in the world, number 1, 6 over par.
Oh, yikes.
Jason Day, 6 over par. Rory rebounded to be 1 over par.
Oh, wow.
But you could likely be over, maybe 2-3 over tomorrow. Still end up making the cut for the weekend if conditions hold and it remains this tough to score. So about half the field is still on the course.
Some of the big names have some work to do.
Lots.
It is 3:38 at WTMJ. 33 in the green and gold with a pretty cool thing going on. We share that with you up next.
Experience fast, affordable family fun at Elkhart Lakes Road America. With on-site camping, free parking, and free admission for kids 16 and younger, Road America offers world-class racing and so much more. From NASCAR to Indy to off-road UTV riding. You can even host your next company picnic or family reunion. Get the full race schedule at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. Or call 800-365-7223. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
It's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for Educators Credit Union. On behalf of all of Educators Credit Union, they would like to express their sincere gratitude to all our public safety professionals. Despite the obstacles you face every day, you continue to make the selfless decision to show up and serve local communities. The care, courage, and commitment it takes does not go unnoticed. Thank you for taking the time away from your family to protect, support, and care for ours. Thank you for all that you do.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
2,050 shoes, 1,025 pairs, donated by Packers running back Aaron Jones. Many of them will be on the feet of young athletes in our area soon, as Jones offered 85 pairs to students at Milwaukee's Audubon Middle and High School in Milwaukee. WTMJ's Tony Cartagena caught up with number 33.
Treating people how you want to be treated. A simple hello. You never know what people are going through, so you just taking the time and, being a light in somebody's life can change a lot for people. And that's all I look to be, is just a spark or a light for people, a resource, and I just believe that's what God's put me here to do, and continue to use my platform to do so.
Green Bay Packers running back Aaron Jones is making an impact this offseason, distributing a total of 1,025 shoes to students throughout the state of Wisconsin.
I'm going on the field and I'm telling you guys, from day one when we run this campaign, hey, I'm not just playing for myself, I'm playing for the community as well.
It's part of his Shoes for Yards campaign, where he donates a pair of sneakers for every rushing yard he earned on the field last season.
You get to see some of the people that you're affecting and meet them, and you get to see the smiles that you put on their faces. It's just big, and it doesn't matter if the effect is big or small. I made an impact, and that's all I can do. So I'm going to continue to do that, continue to strive for greatness, and make an impact in these great communities.
Talking to students at Audubon Middle and High School, he called it leveling the playing field, ensuring that all kids have equal access to athletic equipment and education.
Now it's so common that athletes have to go to JUCO, or they have to go NAI or schools, smaller schools, when they've had these D1 offers, but they're not qualifying, or they're not qualifiers. I just feel like athletes sometimes, when they get up here in front of kids and stuff, when they talk, they don't necessarily talk about school, but that's where it starts. Maybe it's not something that we want to learn or what's being taught that we will use in the outside life, but if this is what you got to do to make it to the next level or get to where you want to do, you got to realize that and lock in. So I just want to advocate to them, hey, school is very important. Like, to get to where you want to go, you got to go to school. So
making a difference and having an impact is something that Jones sees as a responsibility.
A lot of people can get in positions and not use their platform, and so I just want to use my platform and be a resource in the community for these kids, and even the playing field for them. Whatever it may be there, but be a resource for them.
The A&A All the Way Foundation, it's always a family affair.
My mom is very hands-on with the charity. And she's always been very hands-on in my life, whether it's school, sports, and now this is giving back in the community. And I think one of the reasons she's so involved is because it's one of her passions and joys as well, giving back. And that's kind of how me and my brother and the rest of our family got started into giving back, was my parents. So it's the foundation that brought us up, and I found that's my pride and joy.
Tony Cartagena, WTMJ News.
What a great story. Giving back. A lot of guys talk about giving back. He gives back. One of the things that strikes me is that we have two running backs in Green Bay that are not only very talented, but also love Wisconsin, give back to Wisconsin, are such important parts of our community, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Dillon's got a key to the city in Door County, for goodness sake. He shows up at high school basketball games in Green Bay and just riles up the crowd.
It's amazing.
Right? He just had a baby, and he and his wife are loving life in Green Bay. And Jones still calls me sir in the Packers locker room, and I tell him every time, like, Aaron, could you just, I get it, and he's part of a military background. Yep. It's always yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, man. I was like, can you just call me Greg, please?
You call him Showtime?
Just
just try and get a nickname back, maybe?
Right, and maybe I should offer that as an opportunity, right? We'll both kind of make up something, but he is the real deal, on and off the field. He's a good one.
One of the good guys. Hey, coming up, we're going to have Debbie help get you home. And then I want you to think about this topic we're going to discuss, and I'd love for you to weigh in. The Old National Bank talk and text lines, 855-616-1620. Kids that are past college graduation age, mid-20s and older, who are done with school and are living in their parents' home, should they be charged rent? Or is it no? Parents, it's their kid. Parents shouldn't charge them rent. Yes or no? Parents don't need the money. Let's make that assumption. Parents don't need the money and the kids are living in their house. Should the parents be charging those kids rent if they're in their mid to upper 20s? Yes or no? 855-616-1620. Your call is up next.
Oh, I'm already running late. Let's go.
There is a backup on I-94 eastbound.
Wait, is that Debbie Lazaga?
Expect delays.
Well, how bad is it?
Alternate routes will help you in your journey.
I feel better. Get where you need to go calmly with traffic reporter Debbie Lazaga, only on News Radio WTMJ.
Follow me on social.
Advent founder Dr. Madan Kandula.
If you were formerly breathing properly and we just plugged your nose up, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it for a few minutes. You're not going to like it for an hour. You wouldn't stand it for a day. If we're talking weeks, you're going to be clawing at the walls to get that thing off. And if we're talking months to years to decades, many of our patients are basically walking around with clothespins on their nose and they don't know any difference. They've never experienced what life is supposed to be like when you breathe properly, and so for them, they feel like it's normal. It should be no surprise that many of the folks that we treat have downstream conditions. So if somebody's nose isn't working properly, if somebody's throat isn't working properly, they're not breathing properly. And when you don't breathe properly, it creates problems for your body.
When you breathe well, you live better. Go to adventknowes.com to schedule your appointment today.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Traffic and weather sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years. Hey there, Deb.
We have southbound on 43, an incident on the ramp to get from Wells Street. It's off on the right shoulder, so just watch out for a little bit of a backup through that area. We had that earlier accident around just south of Appleton Avenue. That actually has been cleared. We do still have some backups here and there, though, from about Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Southbound 43 is going to be a bit tight, making your way down from Silver Spring down into the Marquette interchange. Right now, Brown Deer Road into downtown, going to take you about 20 minutes. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, rain, thunderstorms, a low of 54 degrees. Tomorrow, thunderstorms early in the day, a high of 65. On Saturday, start of a really nice weekend. Sunny, a high of 67. Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 73. Monday, partly cloudy, a high of 65 degrees. In Milwaukee right now, cloudy skies and 62. If your children are in their 20s and are living at home, should you be charging them rent? Is it right to charge a kid rent? Let's make a couple assumptions here. The parents don't need the money, so let's take that part out of the equation. If the parents do not need the money and the kid is living at home and they're over the age of, I don't know, let's say 20, done with high school, should they be being charged rent? The Old National Bank talk and text lines 855-616-1620. Right now, more than 50% of U.S. adults who are between 18 and 29, so up to 30, are living at home with their parents. More than 50% are living at home with their parents.
So almost of everyone that you meet that's in their 20s, one of them is living at home.
Yep, according to that survey
So
from Newsweek.
I feel like there should be I feel like we should advance the age or dial it in. Because if I'm 20 and out of college and I'm looking for a job back in Milwaukee area, my parents live in the area, and maybe we set a parameter, all right, you get 3 months, right? Get this thing figured out.
That's fair.
I would say no. I'm not going to charge my daughter to live with us. But if she's 24 and got a job or maybe in between jobs, if you have to be with us, yes, this is the world you live in.
Now, I
You
would
pay to
say,
live.
I agree with you, except if they're in between jobs, I think I'd cut my daughter some slack.
Maybe, yeah.
Right, if they had lost a job. But by and large, absolutely, you need to be paying rent. Now, if there's a medical situation, if you've recently got divorced and you're 27, if you've lost your job, I get it. Those are all very different things, and you're not going to let your child fail, and you're going to take care of them. But if you are working a job, you need to pay something, even if it's not what you'd pay on the open market, right? I mean, I'm not going to charge my daughter $1,500 to live in our basement, but I'm going to charge her something. For one thing, I think it's important that she realize that life costs money. And even if she wants to save for a house or do whatever, she needs to have some skin in the game where she's currently living. And I think they need to pay something.
I think if you don't pay something, then you don't value it. If it's absolutely free and you get the unconditional love of your parents and free room and board for as long as you want, I think the child probably won't value it as much, truly value it. And I think it's a recipe for resentment because there's no sort of, I'm not saying you have to drop a contract, but at least if you say, hey, it's going to be $400 a month. And by the way, you know, you live with your parents. There's going to be laundry. There's going to be all these expenses and costs that you're not going to pay. You're not going to pay electricity. Like all of these other things, you're probably going to get some home cooked meals. You know,
Right.
You're going to benefit a lot no matter how much you pay for rent. Even if you were like, nope, it's $2,000 a month. It's what it would be for a house payment, but we'll put it in an account and we'll give it back to you later. Like I think there are some elegant solutions to charge a child so they value it, but still also reward them.
I have twin daughters that are right in this age range, and both of my daughters have lost their jobs in the last 5 years, and they're both working now with good jobs. But they both lost their jobs. They've both been in tough spots. And so I know it is so, your gut reaction as a parent is, I want to let them live with us, and my daughters live far away. So we had the added, if they come home, then they're home. Oh my gosh, I'd give anything to have the girls in the house, and that's special, and that's magical. But you have to teach them responsibility. And if they're in between jobs, I get it, that's different. But inherently, I believe that what do you teach them if you pay for it because you want them to be in the house? I think even if they're saving for a house or saving for a wedding or doing any of that stuff, you need to charge them something. And maybe you amend what that amount is just so that they understand what's at stake and what's involved.
The why is important. Like, why do you want to live with me? Like, why do you want to live with mom and dad again? What's the plan? What's the end game here? And it might be. That's a reasonable idea. My lease is coming to an end. I'm about 5 months away from being able to have a down payment on a house. I'm looking at houses right now. I don't want to sign a 1-year lease. So here's my in-between situation. Can I just live with you? Well, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this together. That'd be great. But I think I'm in your mindset, John. If you're working, I'm cutting you a big break with what you'd be paying to live at home while you can also save and look for the house that you want.
I want to bring Adam into the conversation because Adam's in this age range. He's the only one of us that's in this age range. And he looks like his head's about to explode.
Well, I don't know about that. I think you'd be surprised, John. I'm actually right 100% in the camp with you. So I'm 29, and it was kind of the expectation once I finished college in lacrosse and went about my life that, all right, you're out there, you're getting things figured out, and if you ever were to come home, of course, open arms, obviously, family first, but you're also in your mid-20s and you should be working, and it's expected that if you come back home and are taking up a room in our house as an adult, that you would contribute in some way. Now, we had a caller who dropped off and couldn't stay with us, but she made a great suggestion. If you're the parent and your kids are paying you rent, when they do move out, she said her parents gave her money back to her to get her on her feet and set up with things like furniture and some basic expenses.
Yeah, and Sandy alluded to that. I think that's a very nice idea. Very generous
Because the
idea.
money's going somewhere, and if the parents don't need the money
Exactly.
to apply towards
Yeah.
the mortgage payment or exorbitant bills of their own, then
Yeah.
there is a way to, and that's also the reward. Hey, you managed your time, you managed your money. Here's the reward.
Yeah.
We did get an amusing text on the Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620 from 414. Absolutely charged rent. We had a 19-year-old who decided to move out on his own, wasn't being charged rent, was taking classes in college, but he decided he wasn't going to do any chores at home. We then mentioned about charging him rent. He then decided to move out, teaching priorities and life skills.
For the 262, nope, don't charge rent. My daughter graduated college, has a solid corporate job, and lives at home rent-free. This has allowed her to build her emergency fund plus living expenses for 3 to 6 months. She pays for her cell phone and car insurance, but no rent. All right, I can get that if it's for 3 months. Okay, I could probably get behind that. If it's for 3 months and she's just out of school and you're letting her build, but man, you got to put an end to that. I mean, she has to know, like effective July 1st, just so you know, you either need to be on your own or you're gonna have to pay something. Hey,
It allows you to accomplish a goal, too,
Yeah.
right? You work towards something.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Greg. Let's get a phone call in here. Scott is from Big Bend. Scott, good afternoon. You're on WTMJ.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking my call. I feel that as long as the kids are working hard, saving for a future, not doing drugs and doing stupid things, they're more than welcome to live at home. They're your kids, and you're always going to take care of your kids. But when they're spending money foolishly, then you have to say something. But until then, they're always welcome at home.
So you said a couple of key interesting things. If they're saving for a house, if they're doing the right thing. So does that mean there's no expiration date at all? What if they wanted to still live there when they
No.
were 40?
No, because I think if you've done your parenting right, they're going to want to get out on their own eventually. You teach them to be independent. You teach them to cook. You teach them to clean. You teach them to work on things. So they're going to eventually want to get on their own regardless.
Do you have kids that live at home in this age group?
Not anymore. They're all out.
Hey, Scott, thank you very much
They're
for the
all
phone
out.
call. Appreciate it very much. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off. It is 3:56 at WTMJ. Business headlines up next. Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. They are the real deal. Let me tell you about Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. I know because my dogs have gone through the training. They're better dogs. Thanks to Matt and his teams at Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. They're going to teach your dogs to listen like they're supposed to, be quiet when they're supposed to, walk like they're supposed to. It's the real deal. And I wasn't sold on this. I wasn't sure. I am now because I'm a customer. It's Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. Schedule a free consultation today. That's how we started. It is a piece of cake. Start with that free consultation today at sitmeansitwaukesha.com. Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. Check them out today. It's sitmeansitwaukesha.com.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a Memorial Day weekend showdown with the Giants. Thursday, May 25th through Sunday, the 28th. Start the long weekend right at Aloha Friday on the 26th and get a Brewers Hawaiian shirt with a special ticket package. Then take home a Christian Yelich patriotic jersey giveaway on Saturday, the 27th, presented by Chevrolet. Get your seats at Brewers.com.
Business headline, Sean Ryan is at the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A company that makes high-tech drones for military and commercial use will establish its headquarters in Oak Creek and lease 40 acres in Mount Pleasant to test its products. Called Manette Aero, the business used to make its drones in Illinois. Construction is underway on a new restaurant on the footprint of the former Village Supper Club in Delavan. That new restaurant could reopen later this year overlooking Delavan Lake. Slinger officials approved $27 million in village financing for a 130-acre redevelopment that includes senior housing, an industrial park, and a hotel, gas station, or restaurant. This is Sean Ryan with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
For 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has set the standard for excellence in hospitality. Its reputation for offering impeccable service and luxurious accommodations is simply unmatched. For your next getaway, pamper yourself with a stay at the Pfister Hotel. Enjoy an evening of fine dining at its classic restaurant, Mason Street Grill. Unwind with a skin, body, or hair treatment at the Pfister Well Spa and Salon. Take in live music with a view from the 23rd floor at Blue Cocktail Lounge. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
It's time for amazing Memorial Day savings at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop unbeatable deals on everything you need for summer. Like special buy men's Skechers Arch Fit shoes, just $29.99. All Blazer trailer lighting is 10% off. Rewards members save an extra 5%. Get 10% off Turtle Wax car care products. And all grilling pellets, buy one, get one free. Don't miss amazing Memorial Day savings on summer essentials in-store or online at farmandfleet.com.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. There's free pizza today at the Amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford. Seriously, it is free. Coaches, managers, business owners. Check this out. Every Thursday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza free. Buy 5 pizzas, get 5 free. You know how this goes. Buy 10, get 10 free. Any size, any quantity. So bring in your soccer, baseball, basketball, or tennis team, your club organization after practice, or game today for that free pizza. Your kids are going to love that world-class game room. It's fun. It's affordable. Team bonding, what a great idea. Bring in pizza for your loyal employees today. They're going to love it, and half your pizzas are free. You're going to love that. The Mineshaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh, just off the interstate. Stop today for your free pizza with your family, with your employees. I love the pepperoni at the Mineshaft. It's the real deal. The Friday cod fish fry is all you can eat. It's under $10. It's the best fish fry value anywhere. Order your pizza now. Pick it up shortly. Visit MineshaftRestaurant.com. It's the Mineshaft.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic is sponsored by Weniger Compressor, ready to service any facility at pressureisoff.biz. Weniger Compressor services all makes and models and carries high-performance compressors with a lifetime warranty. Contact Weniger at pressureisoff.biz.
Weniger Compressor.
The place to get caught up, to speak out, to connect and be entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story, cross wires on shared revenue for Republicans.
I'm Sandy Max. Time for Kia and Hyundai to pay up.
I'm Greg Matzig. Challenging conditions at golf's second major.
I'm Debbie Lazago. We do have this accident. Well, actually, it's not an accident. It's an incident on 43 southbound. It's basically at the ramp from Wells Street off on the right shoulder, so it's making for a little bit of an interesting ride. Still going to be slow on 43 southbound from Silver Spring all the way down through the Marquette. Westbound's going to be heavy out of the Marquette through the Stadium interchange, and the eastbound side's got a couple of heavy pockets, one right around 76th Street, another one right through the stadium itself. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 53. Tomorrow, rain likely, a high of 63 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Senate Republicans and Assembly Republicans are at odds over a key ingredient in the shared revenue bill.
The measure passed by the Assembly Wednesday would require a referendum on a sales tax for Milwaukee City and County. The Assembly says the referendum must remain in place, but Senate Leader Devin LeMahieu tells the AP the Senate would likely remove that provision. So what happens now?
I've been in the same spots, both in the Assembly and then in the Senate.
Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow.
Where we've had a bill, we negotiated it, one house passed it, the other house made changes, it brought back, we discussed it, and we passed it together.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Car makers Kia and Hyundai have agreed to a $200 million settlement after a class action lawsuit claiming that a defect makes their cars easy to steal. Car theft victims in Milwaukee could receive part of this settlement. The problem started here when thieves, including groups of juveniles self-dubbed the Kia Boys, began posting about how to steal cars on social media. Milwaukee law firm Barton Surjak SC filed the suit in 2021, saying cars from Kia and Hyundai represent 66% of all auto thefts in Milwaukee.
A Milwaukee ordinance regulating food trucks now heads to the full Common Council.
The measure approved by the Public Safety and Health Committee this morning, it would create a zone where food trucks are limited to 6 hours in one spot and set a 1 a.m. curfew for them. Alderwoman and co-sponsor Jocasta Zamarripa.
What we have done here with this legislation is create another opportunity instead of implementing bans, which was the practice for years.
The ordinance would also create a second zone that limits the amount of trucks that can gather near places like Burnham Park, something Zamarripa says is important.
So as not to compromise the public safety of our constituents, of the children and families that frequent the park.
Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
You don't have to go over the pond for a taste of the British Isles in Bayshore. A restaurant inspired by the United Kingdom and Ireland is expected to open up at Bayshore this summer, featuring classic dishes like fish and chips and shepherd's pie. It's called Buchanan's. It will feature Scottish, Irish, and British dishes, along with an extensive collection of whiskey, craft beers, and bourbon.
Golf second major's underway. Greg has a look at the leaderboard up next in sports.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:04.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
Integrity. Your home's integrity depends on the roof, on the windows and doors, on the siding. When your home's integrity fails you, you need the people who won't. Siding Unlimited. The dad started a siding company, called it Siding Unlimited, brought up sons Eric and Aaron Brown to be trustworthy, to value their own integrity, and after college to take over the Siding Unlimited biz. The boys expanded Siding Unlimited beyond siding to windows and doors, roofs and decks, your home's integrity factors. Now you can buy those things from lots of people, but I wouldn't. I value the integrity of Eric, Aaron, and the talented American craftsmen that are the Siding Unlimited team. And I'm not just their spokesman. I'm a Siding Unlimited customer. Reliable, truthful, talented, and trustworthy. Winners of many industry awards and customer accolades. They are SidingUnlimited.com.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs.
And Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group.
Are you a retiring professional? Worried about the direction of our economy? About making your money last?
Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement.
We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Securities America Inc. member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Arbor Point Advisors LLC. Storm Fisher, Arbor Point, and Securities America are separate entities.
Get fired up for your next adventure to the Island Resort and Casino. Recharge at the Drift Spa and enjoy a delicious dinner afterward. Get in on the action of your favorite slots and table games, followed by live music or a comedy show. And golfers know you can always bet on green, Sweetgrass, and Sage Run. 36 holes of award-winning golf, some of the finest in the Midwest. So many ways to have fun. Experience more at the Island Resort and Casino.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Block 1 of organized team activities begins for the Packers on Monday. Rookies and vets mixing for the first time. 2 kickers on the Packers roster, both rookies. Parker White, never heard of him either, and 6th-round draft pick Anders Carlson. He was in college when his brother Daniel kicked for the Raiders. Special teams coach Rich Bisaccia was with the Raiders at the time.
I had the ups and downs a little bit through college, but he's been there 6 years. You know, he stayed when he could have tried to come out. He's had an ACL injury. He's had a shoulder injury. I think he's a strong mental makeup person. I think he's been his best regardless of the circumstance. He's been in a lot of big games. He's kicked in a lot of different situations in the SEC. He's kicked in many bowl games. So I love his body structure and the power that he has and the ability to get stronger, and we're excited about where he's going to go forward.
Packers begin the preseason Friday, August 11th on the road against the Bengals. No game for the Brewers today. They post up in Tampa on Friday. Game 1 of a 3-game series against the Rays, who own the best record in baseball despite losing today to the Mets in New York. And Bryson DeChambeau atop the leaderboard during round 1 of the PGA Championship. Scotty Scheffler and a host of others at 3 under par. Jon Rahm, world number 1, struggled today to a 6 over par.
A lot of guys still on the course, too.
That is right, about half the field.
The legendary Willie Porter with us live in the studio. Up next on WTMJ.
Do you know the two most beautiful words in the English language?
I sure do. Asphalt and concrete.
There's nothing quite like the sweet smell of freshly paved asphalt.
I'm Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson with Johnson & Sons Paving.
From parking lots to driveways, we do it all.
If you have a project in need of asphalt, concrete, seal coating, or striping, we've got you covered.
Business owners to homeowners, we can help you.
Customer focused, quality driven, and budget conscious. Call us today.
262-251-5585.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
Experience fast, affordable family fun at Elkhart Lakes Road America. With on-site camping, free parking, and free admission for kids 16 and younger, Road America offers world-class racing and so much more. From NASCAR to Indy to off-road UTV riding. You can even host your next company picnic or family reunion. Get the full race schedule at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. Or call 800-365-7223. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
Ask your advisor, are you 100% fee only for 100% of your clients 100% of the time? If they answer no, get a second opinion.
Financial strategies, what's the way to build your wealth?
FinancialStrategiesInc.com.
This is Jim Griffin with Marvelous Service Specials. We'll change your oil, inspect and rotate your tires, check the battery and air filter, give it a complete multi-point inspection, check your AC or your heat, and even change your wiper blades, all for $129.95. Good at all 5 Griffin dealerships.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
We're excited to be joined in the studio by Willie Porter, contemporary American rock musician, singer-songwriter from Mequon, and recently announced going into the Wisconsin Area Music Industry Hall of Fame. Willie, thank you for being with us here in the studio.
What an honor, John. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Greg. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, I'm like fanboy over here, man. Like,
He's been excited all day, Willie. He's been out of control.
So in our text chain this morning, Willie is like, and Willie's coming in the studio. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna wear? Like,
I know. He just crushed me in the hallway with a song that I've never played for 30 years.
Wow.
He's like, I'm going to yell for that one.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
and I've
wow.
seen you play it. That's how many years I've been watching you play
That's
live.
amazing.
It's always a treat.
Thank you for coming back.
And Willie, I feel like you're like a soundtrack to my 90s life in Chicago.
Wow.
Dog-eared Dream?
I hope it was a good era for
That
you.
CD. It was wonderful, but it was funny to be in Chicago and like, oh, he's from Wisconsin. Like all this great Midwestern music. And so many people will recognize you the more we talk about where you've played and what you have going next in song titles. But you've just been such a wonderful fixture of the Milwaukee music scene, but also the Wisconsin music scene. And now, Sunday, you're going to get a wonderful honor.
I am really, truly honored to be welcomed into the Hall of Fame, and along with my good buddy Greg Koch and a couple other folks. So it's a deep honor and a lot of time in here, but so grateful to all the supporters and people in this town and obviously in Wisconsin in general.
People love you, and they love your music. It's such a competitive industry, and it's a tough industry. How's it been to be able to make your living doing what you love for so many years and being the soundtrack to people's lives?
I have nothing but gratitude, and it still is remarkable to me, John, every time I step on stage in front of people that there's anybody there. You know? I still, I love my job as much as when I first started out on the road, and I look forward to many years ahead. So, yeah, I have nothing but gratitude. Yes, there's been great hardship. There's difficulties in touring and raising a family. All those things are real. But to get to keep doing it, man, I'm blessed.
I know you play a lot of shows and festivals, and you tour, you do acoustic, you play with your band, but you've also been on tour with some monster names in the music industry. What were those experiences like, and who did you have a great time with on the road?
I had probably the best time of my life with Jeff Beck. I think getting to watch him play every night, for about 20 different shows was just a remarkable education in being present for the music, and also just the way that man carried himself in the music that he played was really remarkable to me. Greg Koch, who I mentioned earlier, said to me, it's remarkable. The heaviest cats are as light as a feather.
Wow.
And it's really true. The same holds true for Martin Barr of Jethro Tull, who I toured with. He was just a sweetheart and just an amazing musician to be around.
What is
Very
Sting
comfortable.
like?
Sting is just very, very comfortable in his skin. He really, the first time I encountered him, he was backstage meditating.
Yeah, he seems very zen.
He's very
doesn't he?
zen. Yeah. And he asked me at the Riverside to sit in with him the following night in Indianapolis. And I was bowled over by that. So it's just a joy, and music is such a universal language that if you're focused and you're trying to be present and communicate, other musicians feel that. And that's really, that creates a great dialogue.
So you're on stage with Sting playing some of his catalog?
I was playing a part that was sung on the record by James Taylor. And Sting said, this part is a walk-on part. You don't need to play guitar, but you can have it on if you'd like. And so I just came out and I recited this part. I think the song was called Fill Her Up, and from his Brand New Day record. So just a blast.
Cool.
But to walk out and see Manu Katché playing drums, and it's a very heady experience.
Yeah.
And you must feel like you really belong in this musical community. It's great here in our state, but when you really are working with international musicians, Jeff Beck, one of the most influential guitarists of all time, nods to you and goes, "Hey, nice to see you. Let's talk music. Let's talk life." Like, it has to be kind of a pinch you moment, but I hope you certainly feel the confidence of, oh, all right, I am a musician.
I do feel that. I never take it too seriously, though. I realize that it's all about what you're doing and the presence of it. And to me, getting into the interior of music, it sounds a little heady, but that's what it's really about. It's all about forgetting yourself and actually playing music without a sense of ego or trying to get over. And I think some of the other artists I was lucky enough to work with saw that I was trying to do that. They responded to that in a way.
Incoming Whammy Hall of Famer Willie Porter is with us live in the studio. We're going to take a quick break and come back. We're going to continue the conversation, Willie, if you can stick around and
brought
maybe
a
play a
guitar
little
too,
for us.
John. Yeah,
My God.
He was tuning it.
That's fantastic.
Yes, we need to see this.
So quick break.
Thank
We'll be
you.
back with more from Willie Porter up next on WTMJ. It is 4:15. Got to tell you about a great trip that I'm taking. I'd love for you to be part of. My wife and I are taking listeners to New York City for the holidays. We'd love for you to come along. It's the first week in December. Magical New York City, all decked out for the holidays. We'll take in a Rockettes holiday show at Radio City Music Hall. We'll walk to dinner and a show on Broadway, see the world-famous Rockefeller Christmas tree, a ferry cruise of New York Harbor and the Statue of Liberty, and stunning Central Park. This is a great itinerary. Lots of people have signed up, but there's still space left. I'd love for you to come with us. We're having a meeting, actually, a week from this past Monday, so like 4 days from now, to get more information. I'd love for you to be there. Let's do this. Let me send you a brochure. It's got all the detailed information. Give me an email. I'll get you the information. John.Mercure at WTMJ.com. John.Mercure at WTMJ.com. Holiday cheer, Christmas shopping, New York City. Our hotel's right in the heart of Times Square. This is going to be awesome. John.Mercure at WTMJ.com. Send me an email. I'll send you the brochure with all the info you need. John.Mercure, Mercure at WTMJ.com.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruberg Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruberg Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. Hello, Deb.
Hello. Well, southbound 43 going to be a tough one still. It's 23 minutes to get from Round Road to downtown. Looking at a 12-minute delay. Those backups start from Silver Spring. all the way down past Hampton Avenue, back on the brakes from about Keefe all the way into the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94, your usual delays from about 25th Street through the Stadium interchange. Eastbound's a bit heavy from 76 through the Stadium. And then on southbound 894, really kind of seeing some delays. It's about 8 minutes to get from the Zoo to the Hale, another 10 to get from the Mitchell to the Hale. So both directions on 894 are really causing some just basically heavy delays through those areas. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, rain, a low of 54 degrees. Tomorrow, rain early in the day, a high of 65. Saturday and Sunday are great. Saturday, sunny, a high of 67. Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 73. Monday, partly cloudy, 65 degrees. In Milwaukee right now, mostly cloudy, 63 degrees.
So I'm pretty sure it was 2002, roughly. You had your Willie Porter album release. It's got Breathe on it, Paper Airplane, great songs.
Thank you.
And I went to pick it up. It was a Tuesday. Albums were released on Tuesdays. So I went to the exclusive company off Brady Street on a Tuesday, and I walk in to get the Willie Porter album.
Say it with me.
And you're there playing the album. Like, you're just in the aisles of the exclusive company. I was like, what is going on? So
I'm shameless.
And that I called my friend immediately because he didn't text at that point. I was like, you've got to get down here. You live very close. So he came down. We're sitting there, we're just watching you, right? You signed our album. And we walked over to the Nomad to grab a drink. And it's probably 6 o'clock in the evening. And you walked by with your guitar, and we're like, Willie, right? And you said, hey, and like you signed our album.
That's so cool.
And then, no joke, about 4 hours later, Willie came walking back. We were still sitting there drinking beer, like, Willie! Like, you guys are having a night.
Surprised you recognized me at that point.
Oh, gosh. That was so classic. Right in the aisles of the exclusive company.
Oh,
That's
Stranger
a great
Things.
story.
And that's how you kind of got your start as a musician. And I mean, you as like musicians, period. In the 90s and the 2000s, really playing smaller venues and that pop-up exclusive company type show. What was it like getting started at that time? Because I feel like it's evolved now.
It has a little bit. I think it's a different business plan now for new musicians to start out, because there aren't the same retail spaces and things to play, of course, and there aren't the same venues. But yeah, I mean, we were absolutely shameless. I mean, I would play anywhere, and as soon as I thought that somebody in New York liked my record at Atlantic Records, I got in my car and drove out there to see if I could get a showcase. And you know, I did those things that I was just tireless, and I don't know where I came up with the energy back in the beginning, but I'm glad I did it.
When did you know you were going to be able to do this for a living?
Well, I clerked after school. I clerked with my dad. He was an attorney, and I thought I was going to go to law school, and I just was horrible. I just couldn't manage the research. I just wasn't good at it. And he just looked at me and he said, I think other careers back in, and which I thought was a great thing. And so, and about the same time, I got an agent who was booking colleges. So I started to sort of pay my rent by playing 1 or 2 colleges a month. And then I established residencies in Milwaukee at Sherman Celebrity Club, and also in Madison every Sunday night at the Club de Wash. And through those 2 residencies, I was off and running. That was really what I needed to get going.
And to have a regular gig.
Yeah.
Instead of having to constantly load up the van and drive somewhere else.
Absolutely. So that was really, for me, I always looked at it like Milwaukee was the hub of the wheel, and then each new town was a new spoke out to a new town, and you worked that town, and you got beat up, but you came back home where people liked you and supported you, and you kept trying to go back to those towns. So Wisconsin, Milwaukee's a great geographical location because you have Minneapolis, Chicago, Madison, and you can go out and hit those towns on a monthly basis. And if you're willing to do the work is there.
I love how true to your roots you are. You still play Tosa Fest. You still play the Strawberry Festival in Cedarburg, right? You still play Shank Hall, where I saw you last this winter.
Absolutely.
You know, these are intimate venues. These are festival venues. It might be raining outside. Who knows? But that's part of your fabric.
That absolutely is. And, you know, I married a woman from Menominee Falls, and we thought about moving to L.A. when I had a record deal with an L.A.-based label. And we just thought, no, let's stay here. This is where we're rooted. This is where our family is. We love this city, and I'm so glad we did.
You mentioned a couple of venues. Are there favorite places that you like to play in Southeast Wisconsin?
I love Shank Hall. I love the Pabst Theater. I think the Pabst is probably my favorite room, maybe in the country.
Wow,
that I've
that's
played.
cool.
It's just, it sounds so good in there on stage. The acoustics are so great. And so, yeah, those are two of my favorites. I love Shank, though. It's just, it's where we got beat up and all the good stuff happens to you, you know?
When you say beat up, do you mean other people accosting you, or are you just wearing yourself out?
Well, it's just when you're playing to a bunch of seat backs without people in them.
Right.
You know, that's what I consider that. You know, a friend of mine, John Kruth, said, you know, Will, he's like, you can be in a cover band and you'll play to full houses every weekend. And he's like, you can live at home and sleep in your own bed, or you can play original music and play to empty rooms everywhere. So,
Thrilling.
That's a great line.
That's really how it starts.
I know you've got your guitar over there. If I may, can I put in a request? Am I allowed to do this?
Oh, it's all right with us. It's up to
It's up to
Willie
him
Porter.
whether he accepts your request.
I think the beginning of Moonbeam is probably the favorite intro. It's tough because that and Breathe are just so brilliant, the way you get those songs started. Just the way they start. It's the brilliance of your guitar playing and your voice eventually pops in. But Moonbeam is just a dynamite song.
And as you tune, if you don't realize this, the fabulous Willie Porter will be inducted into the Whammy Hall of Fame on Sunday at
That's
Turner
amazing.
Hall, which is one of the catalysts to invite him into the studio, because I think a lot of times when it's great things are right here in our own backyard. You know, we talk about our pride in Wisconsin, whether it's a landmark or an event. It's like, it's also in our talent and our artists and our musicians. So congratulations early on your induction. You'll be in fine company with Liberace.
Oh, I know.
Al Jarreau.
I know. Al Jarreau.
That's cool.
That's really cool. And Greg Koch, who I just think is maybe one of the greatest guitar players ever, certainly from our state, but maybe in the world.
Yeah.
When you really sit down with him.
The Gristle Man.
And you realize the depth of his understanding. I recorded one Christmas tune and I said, Greg, I can't play this, Chet Atkinson. Can you come down here? And I just wanted this kind of a descending part. And he came in one take. He played the most gorgeous thing. And I thought, that just doesn't happen. You know,
All right,
he's
so
just
this
that
is
guy.
Willie Porter going to play us into the break. Congratulations. Thank you for being with us in the studio.
It's an honor. Thank you
This is
so
the great
much.
Willie Porter.
Hear that little moonbeam, such a welcome sight. Nothing in my pocket, no, no, no. Walk with me tonight. Old cars in the tall grass, broken glass and chrome. Down along the railway, yeah, behind a funky little home, hiding in the sumac, waiting for a train. Got a penny on the railway. Hey, that little moonbeam, I hold my candle high.
If you're feeling vibrations in your steering wheel after reaching speeds of over 50 miles per hour, you should bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
If your brakes are making weird noises or feel strange every time you apply them, you should bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
If your engine light is on, you should bring it to Richlands.
And let us fix it for you, because there isn't an auto service repair job on the planet that our service techs can't fix.
Courtney's right. Just check out some of our Google reviews. A whole lot of stars means a whole lot of happy customers.
Proof's in the pudding, so whether you need factory scheduled maintenance
Or tires, brakes, and suspension service, we've got your back.
5 conveniently located facilities, all AAA approved,
And all staffed by ASE certified technicians. I'm Brett Matchke, and the next time you're due for service,
bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All in the green today. Pretty good. The S&P 500 was up 39 points to close at 41.98. The Dow was up 115 to close at 33,535. NASDAQ, big jumper, up 188 points. That's 1.5%. Close at 12,688.84. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Hey, it's Greg Matzik for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac. Got the Memorial Day sales event going on. That'll allow you to steer into summer and drive inspired in a new Mazda from Holiday, the destination to get more Mazda for your money, more for your trade, and enjoy more choices from their fast expanding selection. That includes the CX-5. It's a great little vehicle. CX-50 also, brand new and cool. And the all-new first ever Mazda CX-90. Choose one that's in stock or reserve one that's coming. You'll be in the great and caring hands of Wisconsin's #1 Mazda dealer, #1 Mazda certified pre-owned dealer, and the Badger State's only recipient of the prestigious Mazda President's Club Award, recognizing exceptional guest care. Accolades are per Mazda North American Operations Performance and Zone Sales Records for 2022. I'm a big-time fan and a repeat customer. I can tell you this, you'll be in great hands with Team Holiday. The ownership experience is second to none. So find yours and discover the difference. Holiday Mazda, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and online at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
The new fractured boulders we now have in stock are really nice. They're squarer and more rectangular in shape, and they're great for building dry-laid retaining walls. They're much easier to deal with, lock together nicely, and you get less gaps. No wet mortar needed. And we've stocked a multitude of colors. You can use them as an accent item to add character to your dry river or creek beds, too. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our organic mulch is comprised of all trees. Most mulch is made from ground-up pallets, and you don't know what might have been spilled on those pallets. Could be chemicals or who knows what. But not our mulch, we're recycling trees. Many species of hardwoods. Cedar, hemlock, light brown, dark brown, mocha, black, red, gold, and caramel. 7 colors to choose from means a mulch to match any exterior. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback.
Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law is the local veterans benefit claims law firm. They're now accepting Camp Lejeune claims. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: disagreements on the same side of the aisle.
I'm Sandy Max. A disappointing increase in reports of depression.
I'm Greg Matzik. Well, they're trying to go low in New York.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Slowing down continues. 43 southbound from before Hampton Avenue all the way down into the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Northbound side slowing down basically out of the Marquette up past Locust. We do have an disabled vehicle on the left shoulder right about at North Avenue, so heads up with that. Westbound 94 going to be slow out of the Marquette through the Stadium interchange. Right now from downtown to the Zoo interchange will be about a 13-minute ride. BRIs on the roads report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
Tonight, a little bit of rain, a low of 54 degrees. Tomorrow, early showers, a high of 65 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Senate Republicans and Assembly Republicans are at odds over a key ingredient in the shared revenue bill.
The measure passed by the Assembly Wednesday would require a referendum on a sales tax for Milwaukee City and County. The Assembly says the referendum must remain in place, but Senate Leader Devin LeMahieu tells the AP the Senate would likely remove that provision. So what happens now?
I've been in the same spots, both in the Assembly and then in the Senate.
Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow.
Where we've had a bill, we negotiated it, one house passed it, the other house made changes, it brought back, we discussed it, and we passed it together.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
As the June debt ceiling deadline quickly approaches, ABC's Elizabeth Schulze looks into what would be affected first by a potential default.
Most immediate impact would be financial markets would be lower, so that means your 401k, your pension fund could take a hit. Mortgage rates, borrowing costs would be higher than they already are. We've already seen those costs go up over the past year as interest rates have gone up. And then, as this possibility of a default goes on longer, we have Social Security payments getting delayed, Medicare possibly getting delayed.
Schulze says the long-term outcome would be a lack of confidence in U.S. credit.
A new Gallup study during this Mental Health Awareness Month reveals depression rates have climbed more than 7% since 2015. Over 18% of adults in the U.S. report having or being treated for depression.
Andrea Nauer-Waldschmidt from Milwaukee Behavioral Health Services says the pandemic isn't the only factor to blame for increased depression.
Environmental stressors when we look at work and school life, but then also the insecurities that people face, whether it be housing or food insecurity.
Nauer-Waldschmidt was part of a suicide prevention campaign that installed signs on Milwaukee Public Transit last week listing national and local crisis hotlines.
The more often and simplified messaging we can provide really reminds us that this is available.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Spending 1 hour at the YMCA this weekend could save your life.
Number one cause of death in children 1 to 4 is drowning.
Proper adult supervision and just some basic life-saving skills, we can prevent a large number of these drownings.
That's Sam Seidel, Greater Waukesha County YMCA. Seidel says you can learn a lot in an hour, including how to respond when someone else is struggling in the water.
They can reach objects or find something to throw to their friend.
The classes Saturday at multiple suburban Ys are free and open to everyone. GYCYMCA.org to sign up. Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
The best in the world are showing their human at Oak Hill. Greg explains up next in sports.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:34.
Seth, it's spring cleaning.
I don't like where you're going with this.
Time to give something to Capital customers.
Jason, you can't just keep giving away free stuff.
We can if it helps people.
Let's hear it.
Get a Capital duct cleaning.
Need one at least every 5 years.
And we'll give you a free AC beyondification.
What?
Seth, have you met me?
You're out of control.
Calmer than you are.
A free beyondification when you get a duct cleaning.
Think about it. They're tied together.
No, I get it.
I don't think you do.
I do.
Clean ducts, but dirty air conditioner?
It's like vacuuming a room with the dirt spewing out behind you.
Cleaned and tuned AC, but dirty ducts?
Like sipping purified water through a dirty straw.
So what's the problem?
No, you're right.
I know I am.
But it's
the right thing to do.
Well, that is a serious spring cleaning. You'll breathe clean, healthy air.
And your AC will be ready for summer.
You're still crazy.
Get your free AC beyondification with a Capital duct cleaning today. Call us or go online at callcapitalcares.com.
Stevie Nicks. One special night, August 8th, live at Fiserv Forum. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Stevie Nicks. Presented by FPC Live.
Inflation isn't going away anytime soon. As the cost of everything from food to vacations to your electric bill rises, you may wonder if your retirement plans are still on track. Annex Wealth Management can help. It starts at annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button. From there, our in-house planning team will create your wealth metric, a snapshot of where you are and where you're headed. Wealth Metric will help you understand the impact inflation may have on your plans. Get started today. Visit annexwealth.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
From St. Louis to Tampa, it's a travel day for the Brewers. They'll begin a 3-game series against the Rays Friday night. Tampa Bay owns the best record in baseball, despite today's loss to the Mets. Brewers GM Matt Arnold spent about a decade in Tampa with the Rays before coming to Milwaukee. About that ballpark the Rays play in.
I've always kind of said it's like playing at Costco a little bit. You know, you just kind of walk around, you get your cheese cubes. You might hit a ball in the rafters there, and it doesn't come down. It's a weird place to play, but I obviously have a lot of good memories being here for about 10 years. But I wouldn't say it's my favorite ballpark. Let's put it that way.
Arnold, a guest today on Wisconsin's Morning News. Brewers begin the day with a 1-game lead over Pittsburgh for first place in the NL Central. Packers announced the preseason schedule for this summer. Game number 1, Friday, August 11th at Cincinnati. Game number 2, Saturday, August 19th against the Patriots at Lambeau, the only home game of the preseason. And Saturday, August 26th at Seattle. And round 1 of the PGA Championship underway from Oak Hill Country Club in New York. Day started with about a 50-minute delay due to frost. Bryson DeChambeau is atop the leaderboard at 4 under par. He's followed by world number 1 Scotty Scheffler at 3 under. Corey Connors also 3 under. That's a rough day for some of the best in the world, including John Rahm, who is 6 over par. He's going to have some work ahead of him. Xander Schauffele, 4 over, looking for his first major. It's just tough conditions. A nice day at Oak Hill, but they are really struggling to score on this course. It's a tough course, no doubt about that, but the best in the world being humbled today.
All right, 4:38 at WTMJ. Montana bans TikTok. What does that exactly mean? ABC's Alex Stone with us live up next.
I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling and current president of the Milwaukee chapter of NARI. For 3 generations, our family business has been about more than just our family. It's about the people who work for us and with us. It's about helping families improve their homes, which improves their lives. It's about honest work and fair pricing. It's also about paying it forward by giving back. Get started at ALLRITE remodeling.com.
In Wisconsin, making memories together is for everyone, whatever your ability. So here's to soaking up surf culture right here on Wisconsin's Fresh Coast. To making time for stargazing as a family. And to imaginations cleared for takeoff. Here's to festies with besties. And singing along to your favorite song. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Start your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
TikTok has been in the headlines a lot the past year or so. Efforts to ban it certain places. Government agencies have stepped in and said, no more. Now a state has banned TikTok. ABC's Alex Stone is with us to explain. Good afternoon, Alex.
Hey there, John. Yeah, all of Montana is with a bill that was signed into law by the governor last night saying that come January, it will be illegal to use TikTok in all of Montana. This all goes back to that there is a belief that China could use TikTok to spy on Americans. It's owned by a Chinese company, ByteDance. The U.S. wing of ByteDance says that China has no access and that the U.S. servers are strictly in the U.S., in, I believe, Oregon and Virginia. But there's still this concern on both sides of the aisle and within the FBI that China could use its influence to get into all of our phones and government phones and to know what's going on. And it really is a bipartisan concern. Senator Mark Warner, a Democrat from Virginia, putting it this way.
Our concern is that it poses both a data collection problem and the potential for TikTok to be used as a propaganda tool for the Communist Party.
Now, the thing is, there's no evidence China's doing it. It's mainly that there is a chance they could be, a belief that maybe they are. The FBI has said we probably wouldn't know if they were doing it. But so Montana has decided to block TikTok. And a couple of things here. One being there is no feasible way a single state is going to enforce a ban like this. A lot of people use VPNs, virtual private networks. You're told to, if you go to a hotel or a Starbucks and you're on an open internet connection, use a VPN to encrypt it or to at least secure your data. And those VPNs will put you somewhere where you are not typically. So it may say that you're in California or in New York when really you're nowhere near either of those states. So how would they do this if somebody were on a VPN or using a GPS spoofing app, and even if they did know where you are, then what? Are they going to go in guns drawn on a 15-year-old who opens up TikTok? No. And then First Amendment lawyers are lining up that they're saying that they have a lot of problems with this, and Ken White among them.
It's, with all respect to Montana, not necessarily the role of Montana to protect the national security of the United States of America. So, and particularly this would be a problem if you have a patchwork of 50 different laws across 50 different states purporting to regulate national security in different ways. That doesn't help national security.
And they argue telecommunications, that's up to the federal government, that you don't cross state lines and have different cell phone laws in one state compared to the other. 150 million Americans use TikTok, communicate via it. So we'll see. The January 1st is when it goes into place. There are already lawsuits being filed. So there's a very real chance it will get stalled or tossed out completely by the courts before that time. But if it does go into place, users, by the way, would not be fined. App stores would be fined for allowing anybody in Montana to download it. TikTok would be fined for anybody found using it in Montana. But again, how would they know? How would they enforce it? Nobody knows.
This is clearly a headline grabber. There's no
Yeah, I
way
mean, in
to
many
enforce
ways it
this.
is.
I mean, this
Yeah,
is
I mean-
just an attention grabber. You mentioned the patchwork issue. Is there an appetite or an effort in Washington to do something at the national level?
Well, there is. There's been a lot of debate for a very long time over this. A couple of years ago, there was talk about banning TikTok, and there are still many who want to do that. But then there are the First Amendment issues that come into play that there's no proof. There's a lot of people who believe a lot about what China could be doing. There's no proof China is doing anything. So then you get into if 150 million Americans are using it and you're going to shut it down out of worry that the possibility that maybe they're doing something. Montana had looked at banning any app that was foreign owned. That didn't go forward. They're not doing that yet, at least. But there are a lot of people who make money on TikTok. That's how they make their living. Social media influencers. This former University of Montana football player, Adam Botkin, he's among them.
Obviously, it hurts just because it's like one of the three main platforms that I've built a community on. It's the biggest one I've built a community on. But as a content creator, you kind of always have to adapt. You always have to go with what you can do and what you're allowed to do. So at the end of the day, I'm going to adapt to what I have to do, but it definitely does hurt, yeah.
And look, he's in Montana, so if he's creating content in Montana, clearly they would have a case to say, well, he's illegally using it. But if you're a tourist and you go in and it's on your phone and you open it up in the hotel room at night, you would be breaking the law. But how would they ever know?
Alex, it's interesting that all of this is because of suspicions and allegations instead of spending some real energy in finding out if it really is true that TikTok has this ability.
The FBI's been trying, but they say that we probably wouldn't know if they were doing it, that China would make sure that we didn't know they were doing it. There is a very real possibility that they are doing it, but the FBI has said they don't know. But there is this worry that because of the power that China has over companies in China, that they could order ByteDance to hand over data and what's on their servers and whatnot. The U.S. CEO of ByteDance says that there is a firewall between the two, that they have no connection other than being owned by China. So there's all this back and forth of, can the U.S. government come in and shut down a major company because the government, or Montana and this state government, have suspicions about them but no proof. So a lot of arguments, First Amendment, just feasibility of a lot of it, even if there was a U.S. ban with VPNs that a lot of people use, then the business side of it, a lot going on. But Montana is saying you come into its state as of January 1, no using it.
ABC's Alex Stone. Thank you, Alex.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
445 at WTMJ.
There are heroes among us who run toward danger rather than away from it. We call them first responders. This is Steve Scafidi. WTMJ is partnering with Educators Credit Union to honor police officers, firefighters, and countless others who work every day to protect our families and loved ones. Do you have a first responder you would like to nominate? Go to WTMJ.com, click on the Salute to Service banner, and share your story. We'll bring you the incredible stories during Salute to Service month in May.
Steve Scafidi's Salute to Service with Educators Credit Union. Details now at WTMJ.com.
Live life to the fullest. Hey, you hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. QC Kinetics gives people all around Milwaukee their quality of life by providing much-needed relief for chronic joint pain, and not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible, using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. So where is your joint pain? In your knees, your hips, shoulders, maybe your back? Well, QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them the most. No surgery, no downtime, no steroids or harmful drugs. And patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Well, finally being able to exercise or walk the dog, maybe enjoying time with the family, or just working your job. Whatever it is, don't wait another day. Call QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Give them a call. 414-285-3474.
Wealth-changing question. Is your advisor giving you incomplete advice? Besides investing, there's also taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other elements that can be stressful to organize. At Creative Planning, we provide all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house, ensuring every aspect of your wealth works harder together so you can enjoy your wealth instead of worrying about it. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
It's time for amazing Memorial Day savings at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop unbeatable deals on everything you need for summer, like men's Lee Extreme Motion Shorts, just $34.99. New at Blaine's, rewards members save $150 on a Charbroil 6-burner grill, and all Livingston vegetable and flower seeds 25% off MSRP. Don't miss amazing Memorial Day savings on summer essentials in-store or online at farmandfleet.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Be our eyes on the roads. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, John. Southbound 43, still going to be a heavy ride from before Hampton Avenue all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Actually doesn't really let up till you get past the KK River. So right now, Brown Deer Road to downtown will be a 25-minute ride with another 11 to get from downtown to Layton Avenue. Westbound 94, or 894, I should say, very slow out of the Mitchell Interchange all the way to about 92nd Street. Then it opens up to get onto northbound 894. Southbound side's really solid from Greenfield all the way down and around the Hale Interchange. And that actually starts to let up once you get past 92nd Street, but heavy ride there, too. Westbound 94 is heavy from the Marquette through the Stadium Interchange right now downtown to the Zoo. You're looking at about a 13-minute ride with the eastbound side at about 11. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, some rain, a low of 54 degrees. Tomorrow, early rain, a high of 65. On Saturday, sunny 67. Sunday, sunny 73. On Monday, partly cloudy, a high of 65 degrees. In Milwaukee right now, cloudy skies and 63. Very interesting story we wanted to share with you. And if you want to weigh in, you can always be part of the conversation. The Old National Bank talk and text line is 855-616-1620. Old National Bank, get old. So this is the story. Patricia Oliver is the mom of a Parkland shooting victim, Joaquin Oliver. You remember Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. That's where the shooter, Nicholas Cruz, went into the school, and he unfortunately shot and killed 14 students and 3 staff members.
2018.
Yeah. So now the mom of one of the victims, that's Patricia Oliver, has written a children's book, and I say that in quotes because it's not meant for children to read, but it looks like a children's book with the animation, with the cover, the verbiage. It's written, it looks like a children's book.
Illustrations
but the subject
and
is,
rhymes.
Yeah, but it's very serious. So the book is called Joaquin's First School Shooting. And basically it tells the story of Joaquin Oliver, her son, being massacred at the school. It's got a colorful cover, shows a beaming boy with a bunch of daisies in his hand getting off the school bus because Joaquin on that day was actually taking daisies to his girlfriend at the school. And there's holes in the book that are like bullet holes. They're designed to mimic the finger holes that you find in children's book to help kids turn the pages, except in this book they're located on children's bodies. It depicts what happens to Oliver's son, Joaquin, on the day he was killed and shows graphic drawings of dead children on the floor, other kids running, panicking through the hallways. And it talks how the mom believes Joaquin would have talked on that day. This is what it says at the end of the book. The end of the day was also my own. This is Joaquin talking. Bled out on the floor, never got home. Reads the accompanying text next to a drawing showing Joaquin's character fatally gunned down on the floor with the black beanie that the real Joaquin often wore by his side. So here's why she wrote the book. She wants politicians and decision makers to see the book. She hopes that it will have an impact, that it will influence them, that it will lead to discussion and possibly change. I'm fine with the book. God bless her. I can't imagine her pain. This isn't going to change anything. This will not change a single damn thing. This is not about the book. It's not, unfortunately, about her son or the children, which it should be. We're so entrenched and dug in on these issues. It's become a partisan issue, gun control. This book's not going to change anything.
Well, she is taking copies of the book and hand delivering them.
Right.
To congresspeople.
She is.
And having that one-on-one interaction, and she's gotten a variety of reactions so far of legislators who have burst into tears as soon as they read the first page
So
and have been moved.
I looked up 5 of the representatives that she all visited on both sides of the party, and every one of them went on the record, said, God bless her, my heart breaks. This will not make a difference. And it's unfortunate. It's shocking. If you look at the book, the pictures, the graphics, the verbiage, it's shocking. And it's sad. And it's devastating. And my heart breaks for her. This is, I can't imagine ever having to deal with this.
Will it not work because party lines are so dug in
Yes.
on the issues of gun control, mental health,
Exactly.
so on?
This will have, sadly, zero impact. None. It will have no impact. It just won't. I mean, look at the country we're in. Look at the battles over gun control. Look at, if you actually go and research the verbiage on legislation that has come up time and time again after all these after Sandy Hook, where little kids were gunned down. Show me a legislator who changed their mind from how they previously stood after a mass shooting.
So that's the problem, because the book should have an impact. But what should have more of an impact is the event that led to the creation of the book, and the event before that, and the event before that, and the 3 or 4 before that, and then the one before that. Right?
Well, right. And the one that'll happen next week
should have had an impact on the situation. Meanwhile, party lines are being drawn at, oh, geez, I can't upset the party here.
Right. I got to march. I got to march
Screw
along.
the party. Figure out how to get stuff done that helps affect our community in a positive way.
According to Washington Post data, 21 school shootings in America so far this year. 21.
That's awful.
And I do feel that if you're a parent and you've gone through this devastating tragedy, you're powerless. This is a creative, connective way to try to do something and to get to the Capitol building and talk to people and have that eye-to-eye contact. I hear what you're saying, and Rome wasn't built in a day, but to have that emotional connection, at least make an impact, make an emotional connection. And then I also find it interesting that if you were interested in getting this book for your child, there are 2 boxes you can click, get one for myself or send one to my state representative. So you can send it directly to them. So I would think that the parents are also hoping a flood of these books wind up getting delivered to representatives and continue to make that impact instead of just that one-on-one interaction.
Yeah, so to me, that part's silly. So now we're going to pay to send books so that my representative has 1,700 books sitting in his office.
Well, nothing else has worked. Marching in the streets, how many people write to their congressperson?
Well, because this doesn't work, there is no way I'm spending money to send a book to my representative.
You don't know that it doesn't work. You haven't even given it a chance.
I've heard from every legislator almost that she talked to who've all said it doesn't work. They said it hasn't changed them. It's not going to impact them.
Not yet.
And me spending $17 to send a book to my congressperson isn't going to change that. And God bless her. I look at her picture and I want to cry. No parent should ever have to deal with this. It is absolutely tragic, and we got to figure this out. It's 4:56 at WTMJ. Business headlines are up next. First, a couple of words for Town Bank. Town Bank is the real deal. Town Bank, located in several communities throughout southeast Wisconsin, and they continue to grow. Part of the Wintrust family of community banks. They are growing, they are thriving, in large part because they make a difference in the community. They give back to the communities that they are involved in. Whether it's Menominee Falls, Whitefish Bay on the south side, they give back, and that makes a difference. And they know that you're working toward a real financial goal, and every little bit counts. When you open up a Total Access checking account, you'll get free ATMs nationwide and a $300 bonus. No matter what goals you've set, Town Bank can help you achieve them with banking solutions like entrepreneur checking, small business loans, and much, much more. And parents, you know this. It's never too early to start teaching your kids about money. This year, help them take the first step toward a healthy financial future with a Junior Savers Club account at Town Bank. With a Junior Savers account, children earn interest on every dollar they deposit. Plus, they have access to activities and giveaways, lots of fun stuff throughout the year. It is Town Bank. It's Wisconsin's bank. To learn more, visit townbank.us. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. It's Town Bank. Business headlines, it's Sean Ryan at the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Slinger officials approve a $130 million project after its developer removes plans for housing and apartments. The resulting project will build a business park, senior apartments, and commercial space with $27 million in village help. About 40 acres in Mount Pleasant will become a testing ground for tethered drones made by expanding business Manette Aero. The company is setting up its headquarters in nearby Oak Creek. The Village Supper Club in Delavan could reopen later this year under new ownership and in a new building. The original restaurant was torn down for the new one that will have more windows overlooking Delavan Lake. This is Sean Ryan with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley are thrilled with their brand new Pella patio door.
It's like having a brand new kitchen. It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing, and it makes it comfortable for the life we live, which is an active one.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside.
For the first time, our whole house actually feels like the same climate.
And no drafts. Don't have to have any of those extendo cornhole bags anymore. It's a game changer.
I'm Gina Della from Pella, and if you order today, get 0% interest for up to 48 months. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we strive to always give the best possible quality of service. Our experts provide an in-home consultation where they'll listen to your needs and help choose the perfect products for your home, which can be customized to fit any decor. The installation is completed in as little as a day with no mess and no hassle, leaving nothing but perfect results. Order today and get 0% interest for up to 48 months at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 5/31/2023.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
So when you're in a pain spiral, will stem cells or bone marrow harvested from your body and then placed back into your body get you out of it? For those willing to go through a very expensive and not exactly easy process, which is not FDA approved, it might. But for those not willing to pay exorbitant amounts to go through all that, especially knowing that pain relief is not a sure thing, it's not an option. At Rejuvenex, we inject powerful, FDA-approved treatments that reduce inflammation and pain while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees, with some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics, and we are in network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief, really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
What's better than the look and feel of real leather? The amazing prices at Steinhoffels.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Your locally owned hometown station gives you the news and what it means to you. Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story, a man killed in a drive-by shooting after attending a funeral in Milwaukee.
I'm Sandy Max. Food truck rules closer to reality.
I'm Greg Matzig. They're still in first for now.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Still a hefty ride heading down from Capitol Drive all the way through the Marquette and on to 4394 southbound. Right now, Brown Deer Road to downtown up to a 25-minute ride, so it's a 14-minute backup. 894 westbound, solid out of the Mitchell Interchange all the way to about 92nd Street. From the Mitchell Interchange to the Hale, we are up to about a 20-minute ride, so watch out for that. Southbound on 41, that's a little bit tight right around Capitol Drive, but where you're really seeing the delays is on 894 southbound, basically out of the zoo all the way down and around the Hale to about 92nd Street. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 53. Tomorrow, rain likely, a high of 63. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, it's breaking news this afternoon. The Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office confirming a man was killed in a drive-by shooting near Teutonia and Atkinson. The driver was shot. His vehicle then crashed into a bus stop, collided with a stop sign. Traffic lights were knocked down. A family member telling our news partners at TMJ4 the victim, who does not live in Milwaukee, was driving back from a funeral. This is a developing story. We'll bring you more information as we get it.
Senate Republicans and Assembly Republicans at odds over a key ingredient in the shared revenue bill.
The measure passed by the Assembly Wednesday would require a referendum on a sales tax for Milwaukee City and County. The Assembly says the referendum must remain in place, but Senate Leader Devin LeMahieu tells the AP the Senate would likely remove that provision. So what happens now?
I've been in the same spots, both in the Assembly and then in the Senate.
Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow.
Where we've had a bill, we negotiated it, one house passed it, the other house made changes, it brought back, we discussed it, and we passed it together.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
A new round of police officer recruitment begins tomorrow. Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman tells 1017 The Truth he wants prospective officers to have a sense of commitment to Milwaukee.
I want people to be part of this effort because they want to be, because they feel that there is something they can add to the particular work that's being done. Don't come to me with talking about this is just a good job.
Milwaukee Fire and Police Commissioners want to change the recruitment process so that a prospective officer can apply anytime instead of waiting for a designated recruitment period. The commission hopes this will increase the applicant pool and continue building a police department that reflects the city's diversity.
The SAG-AFTRA Actors Union plans to ask its 160,000 members to authorize a strike against the major Hollywood studios, even though they haven't even been to the bargaining table yet. The union hopes that by holding a strike authorization vote before contract talks, that will give SAG-AFTRA some leverage. Entertainment attorney Jonathan Handel.
If they do go on strike, it will be the first time since 1960 that both the writers and actors are on strike simultaneously.
This move comes just weeks after Hollywood screenwriters have struck.
A Milwaukee ordinance regulating food trucks now heads to the full Common Council.
The measure approved by the Public Safety and Health Committee this morning, it would create a zone where food trucks are limited to 6 hours in one spot and set a 1 a.m. curfew for them. Alderwoman and co-sponsor Jocasta Zamarripa.
What we have done here with this legislation is create another opportunity instead of implementing bans, which was the practice for years.
The ordinance would also create a second zone that limits the amount of trucks that can gather near places like Burnham Park, something Zamarripa says is important.
So as not to compromise the public safety of our constituents, of the children and families that frequent the park.
Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
It's a matchup of first and last place teams tonight in St. Louis. Greg Matzik has the latest on the Brewers next in sports.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:04.
This report is sponsored by Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart.
In the past 70 years, there's something that has never changed. The kitchen. Oh, it may look a little different as the decades have passed, but it's always been where family gathers for meals, memories, and more. Wisconsin Kitchen Mart has always understood that and remains dedicated to making that important space special.
With an expansive 18,000 square foot showroom filled with full-size displays featuring Play-Doh custom cabinetry, award-winning designers, plus their own in-house installation department, let Wisconsin Kitchen Mart transform your kitchen into a true gathering place.
I'm Robert Iskey, Vice President and Designer from Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. We've been remodeling kitchens and baths since 1951 and can help establish a vision for your remodel. We bring the carpenters, plumbers, electricians, and everyone else needed to make your dream kitchen a reality.
Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart on the corner of West Wisconsin Avenue and 36th Street in Milwaukee. Online at wisconsinkitchenmart.com.
At SimpliSafe, we design award-winning security to protect every inch of your home. It's easy to set up yourself, and now there's an even easier option. Have an expert do it for you with SimpliSafe Pro Install. Always protecting, never a contract. 2 easy installation options, backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
time for an update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Bryson DeChambeau leads during round one of the PGA Championship at Oak Hill in New York. DeChambeau 4 under par on the day. In fact, he's back out on the driving range hitting balls. Round two will get underway tomorrow morning. Scotty Scheffler 1 shot off the pace at 3 under par. John Rahm, world number 1, 6 over today. He'll have a lot of work to do in order to make the cut. No game for the Brewers today. It's a travel day down to Tampa to take on the Rays in a weekend series beginning at Friday. Tampa losing today to New York 3-2. They still own the best record in all of baseball. And the Packers begin the preseason Friday, August 11th on the road against the Bengals.
It's time for Extra Points, a sports commentary on Wisconsin's afternoon news. Here's Greg Matzik.
One team's trash is another team's treasure. The analogy may be harsh, but it's true. 2 weeks after being fired by the Milwaukee Bucks for a second postseason collapse, Mike Budenholzer is being linked with the head coaching vacancy in Philadelphia. The 76ers fired head coach Doc Rivers this week for the same reason the Bucks fired Bud. At least one NBA executive is now linking Rivers to the vacancy in Milwaukee. Former NBA Coach of the Year Monty Williams out of a job in Phoenix because he couldn't guide the Suns past the second round after trading for future Hall of Famer Kevin Durant. Williams, like Rivers, is also being linked to the Bucks. Budenholzer, Rivers, Williams simply didn't do enough this season with an MVP caliber player and additional All-Stars on the roster. So what happens when the coaching round robin yields Bud in Philly, Williams in Milwaukee, and Rivers in Phoenix? Ownership and front office personnel will tell fans what they want to hear. Each coach will inherit a roster talented enough to win a championship, and they'll be held to a championship standard, because that is really what it's all about.
Extra Points is sponsored by All Right Home and Remodeling. When you want it done right, call All Right.
Did you know that the Inflation Reduction Act can save you thousands on energy-efficient updates like new insulation, siding, windows, and more? And these dollars are in addition to Focus on Energy rebates. I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling and S&E Insulation. As Department of Energy Century Club award winners, my team has the proven skills and experience to help you take advantage of these unprecedented incentives. Get started at ALLRITE-remodeling.com.
Smooth waters and clear horizons are ahead. The experienced team of advisors at Fox World Travel are ready to uncover your cruising style. Are you sailing off into a Caribbean sunset? Taking in the European charm along riverways? Maybe an exotic expedition or Alaskan cruise are on your bucket list. We'll help you cruise like never before with Royal Caribbean, Holland America, Uniworld Boutique River Cruises, and more. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call a Fox Cruise expert at 866-GO-FOX-GO.
Grandview Buys Homes. Let us help you sell your loved one's home. We'll buy your home completely as is. Get a fair cash offer in 48 hours and close on the day you choose. Take only the belongings you want and leave the stress and the mess to us. GrandviewHomes.com.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlawns.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're due for service.
Rich Lawns.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Need some activities to do this weekend? We've got you covered. This is What's on Tap on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
All right. What's going on this weekend?
You know how much I love music.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend is the Wisconsin State Polka Festival.
How fun.
44th anniversary of the Wisconsin Polka Festival this weekend, celebrating the polka as the official dance of Wisconsin. You can enjoy dozens of performances by polka bands. And don't be shy, there are free dance lessons, so you can join in. There we go. I knew Adam Roberts would find me some music. This puts you in a good mood.
How can you not smile when you hear polka music,
It
right?
helps. It helps. It is happening Friday through Sunday at the Sterling Chalet in Richfield.
This kind of reminds me of Polish Fest.
Yes.
That is coming up
it?
June 9th and 10th, I think.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
We used to broadcast out there every
Yeah.
year. It was fantastic.
We'd get free vodka. That was fun.
We did. They brought big bottles of potato vodka and left them with us.
I like the Tishki beer they serve as well.
We need to go back there.
Okay.
Let's, if marketing's listening,
So that's your,
let's go back.
that's your Polish Fest primer is this weekend at the Wisconsin State Polka Festival in Richfield. You can take part in Armed Forces Day celebration. One way to honor American military members, stop by the Harley-Davidson Museum Saturday. They're going to be featuring the Wisconsin Warrior Challenge. You can experience interactive military displays and participate in the Support the Troops ride. And they also have military gallery talks at 11 and 2, and you can learn the history of Harley-Davidson in the military, including HD's. They played an essential role in the World Wars.
That's cool.
Yeah, Saturday, 10 to 3 at Milwaukee's Harley-Davidson Museum. Told you I love music. She's back. Patti LaBelle.
Oh, yeah.
Remember in December,
Yeah.
she had to stop her show in the middle due to what was luckily a false bomb threat, but it
Yeah.
really displaced a lot of people. Patti, back in Milwaukee, singing on stage Saturday night at the Riverside. She's a dynamic singer, a multiple Grammy Award winner. I'd say she's earned her nickname, the Godmother of Soul.
Oh, that'd be
See
a fun
her
show.
Saturday night, 8 o'clock, Riverside Theater in downtown Milwaukee. And for the nature lovers, you know how much we always say, don't let the Milwaukee Domes go away. They're a wonderful place to spend
Yeah.
time. Well,
Yeah.
here's a reason to go. Metamorphosis, the Lives of Frogs and Butterflies show.
Lovely.
You love the frogs, don't you, Greg?
I do like frogs, yeah. Frogs are rad.
This is a great place to experience them. Stroll among colorful flowers, hyacinths, pansies, hydrangeas in bloom, illustrating the life cycles of frogs and butterflies. Just
you-
like polka music makes you smile, I think butterflies,
butterflies
do
too. Have you ever had frog legs?
I have in New Orleans, yeah.
Were they good?
They're
Were they-
delicious.
Did you like
yeah,
them?
I think they
Yummy?
were fried the right way, so yeah, they were
Is
good.
it like a chicken wing almost if it's just deep fried?
Nothing like that
What does
really
it
at
taste
all.
like?
But chicken.
But you just said it wasn't like a chicken wing. You
yeah,
mean the shape?
it just
The
you have
shape
to
it
say it
wasn't?
tastes like chicken in order to get people to eat it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd eat that.
Okay.
Well, maybe I'd try it.
Yeah,
I
from
don't
the
know.
guy who ate a scorpion at the Wisconsin State
And
Fair.
never
part
again.
of
Yeah.
one. Part of one.
Deep fried,
Still
baby.
swimming around in
I
his
guess
stomach.
Yeah, I feel lightheaded just thinking about that scorpion.
I don't know when Wisconsin has a Frog Leg Festival. I know when the Cheese Curd Festival is, Strawberry Fest. I'll look into the Frog Leg Festival. But in the meantime, see some live ones. Metamorphosis, the Lives of Frogs and Butterflies show, now through Monday the 29th, Memorial Day, at Milwaukee's Mitchell Park Domes.
Where you guys had your wedding reception.
We did have our wedding there. There were no frogs in attendance. There were 2 racing sausages, however.
And lots of flowers.
Lots of flowers. Yes, we saved a lot on the flower budget because it was all decked out for the holidays.
It's called wisdom, and you supported the county parks.
Probably
Perfect.
a butterfly hiding in there somewhere too.
Could have been.
We'll have this information on WTMJ.com if you want more.
I love it. That's what's on tap. It's 5:14 at WTMJ. Up next, Charles Benson. We've talked a lot about the pension crisis in Milwaukee. Does anybody really know what the hell that means, when it started, what that's all about? Charles Benson does. He's with us up next, plus some perspective on what's happening with the shared revenue proposals in Madison. That is straight ahead on WTMJ. It's 5:14.
Hey, live life to the fullest, right? You hear it all the time, but easier said than done when you're not feeling right. It's WTMJ's Greg Matzik for QC Kinetics. They are giving people all around the area back their quality of life by providing much-needed relief for chronic joint pain. And not just providing the relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible, using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. So where's that joint pain of yours, huh? In your knees, hips, shoulders, back maybe? QC Kinetics concentrates the impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them the most. And that means no surgery, no downtime, no steroids, no harmful drugs. Patients are raving about the results. Live life to the fullest. For you, that might mean just a regular day at work or walking the dog, maybe going for a run or a hike, or just spending time with family. Whatever it is, don't wait. If you're in pain, call QC Kinetics for a complimentary consultation at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Garage door broke. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Need a new garage door. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new CHI maintenance-free garage door. In fact, a recent study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%, ranking #1 among all home improvement projects. To see our huge selection of doors, come visit us at our Brookfield location or view our online showroom at GuysDoors.com. We have everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, call Geis at 262-784-4250 or visit us online at GuysDoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Give future generations a connection to their past by securing cemetery property today. Now is always the best time to buy cemetery property because purchasing today is your best protection against rising prices and limited inventory. Whether you choose burial or cremation, we have options for every belief at any budget. Speak with us today about available financing and pricing options. We're Forest Hill Memorial Park. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
3301 East Forest Hill Avenue, Oak Creek, Wisconsin, 53154.
Lobster Fest is back. Sendik's Lobster Fest is featuring North Atlantic cold water lobsters for just 2 for $25. Don't miss out. Order yours now at sendix.com/lobsterfest. Sendik's, your trusted local grocer.
Traffic is sponsored by Sendik's Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926. Good afternoon, Debbie.
Good afternoon, John. It is kind of a brutal ride along southbound 43, slowing from just before Capitol Drive, almost to Hampton Avenue, all the way down through the Marquette and on to 4394. Right now, Brown Deer Road to downtown is 23 minutes. That is a 12-minute backup. And then on 894 westbound, leaving the Mitchell interchange, we are looking at about a 19-minute ride there, so a 13-minute delay, solid out of the Mitchell all the way to the Hale. Southbound on 894, also going to be solid all the way from Greenfield all the way down and around the Hale interchange. And then northbound on 41, also seeing some hefty delays right now. It is about a 15-minute ride from the Zoo to Highway Q, most of that happening between Wisconsin Avenue and Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, a little bit of rain, a low of 54 degrees. Tomorrow, a little rain in the morning. It clears out by lunch, a high of 65. On Saturday, sunny 67. On Sunday, sunny 73. On Monday, partly cloudy, a high of 65 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, cloudy skies and 62. There's a whole lot going on in Madison. So Republicans yesterday in the Assembly managed to pass a shared revenue proposal with some provisions in there that Democrats all voted against and that other Republicans say will not fly, including whether or not the whole proposal about shared revenue goes to referendum. And it all stems from the pension crisis that rocked Milwaukee County several years ago. TMJ4's chief political reporter is Charles Benson, and he is with us this afternoon. Hey, Charles, how you doing?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me.
I want to first get your take before we have you explain the pension crisis to us a little bit on the latest developments. So I find this fascinating. Robin
Get
Vos,
out a scorecard.
Yeah. So Robin Vos and the Assembly Republicans pass a measure that includes the need for a referendum for the shared revenue sales tax provisions to go into effect in Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. His counterpart, Republican Devin LeMahieu, in the state assembly told me that he will not endorse that. He will not include that. And then the governor, we don't know what he's going to do. How does this play out? I mean, Robin Vos has drawn a line in the sand, it seems, Charles.
Right. So here's what I say. Have a triangle. Imagine you have a triangle where Speaker Vos is saying, look, in this deal, you have to have a referendum to approve the sales tax. You have now the Senate leader, the Republican senator leader, saying, no, we're not committed to having a referendum. You then have Governor Evers, at least his spokesperson today, saying that the governor now supports allowing the Milwaukee County Board and the Milwaukee Common Council to vote on whether to raise the taxes. So they want to put it in the hands of the Common Council or the County Board. So you've got the Speaker disagreeing with the Senate Republican leader. You've got the Senate Republican leader and now the Democratic governor kind of on the same page. But think about it. Governor Evers, when he first proposed his idea around this, he was actually in line with Speaker Vos on a referendum. What does that all mean? Things are changing. And what it really reminds me a lot, John, and I think you were there at that time, the tough negotiations that went around trying to build the Brewer Stadium. There were a lot of moving parts. There were a lot of people involved. And with this one, too, you've got the normal sort of, politics being played in Madison, but you also have a mayor of Milwaukee and a county executive. There's a lot of different players here, and things are changing. I don't really know where it's going to end up, but right now, they're not on the same page.
Charles, I try to sort that part of it out because you're right. I did cover those battles in Madison with you. And then a lot of the conversation took place behind closed doors, and we didn't know where people stood on specific parts of the issue. So I'm struck by the fact that the speaker, a very powerful figure in Wisconsin, comes out on the record and says, I'm done negotiating. I will not change my bill. This is what's in it. And then LeMahieu comes out and says, basically, I can't support a referendum.
Right.
I mean, I just don't know where we go from here. They're both so firmly on the record.
Well, and that's what's interesting. But, John, you and I have talked about this. Remember the first get-together when Speaker Voss comes in, has a lot of his Republican members behind him. I think the Mayor Johnson was there, county executive. They hold this first big sort of like, hey, we've got something here. We think we've got a deal. Let's move forward. And at that time I said, where are the senators? Where are the senators? And then yesterday you saw Speaker Voss out there on the Capitol steps saying, we've got this deal. We're done negotiating. Here's the plan. We're going to go in and vote for it. But again, where were the senators? And it's been fascinating to me that when we see a lot of these stories playing out, that we don't see senators standing there, especially Senator LeMahieu, standing there with Voss saying, yep, we've got a deal. And so right now, I think the interesting negotiations are between Voss and LeMahieu, if there are negotiations going on.
Charles, one of the reasons we're talking about all these finances and shared revenue is because the state and the city need money. And you just wrote an article about Milwaukee's pension crisis and illustrating the dynamics of that. What is it that we need to know about that to understand this?
Well, you know, it really is a deep dive. I was really fortunate to talk to Rob Hankin, who's over at the Wisconsin Policy Forum. You know, he's written 30 pages on this issue. I did 3 minutes, okay? So, you know, it really is a deep dive. It takes a lot to understand here. But the reason why the city, one of the reasons why the city is in this fiscal crisis is because it has an obligation to city workers, especially police and fire, who make up the bigger costs of this pension, to say to them when they retire, they're going to get their retirement benefit. And over time, this pension fund ran into some trouble late 2000s because of the economy. The expectations on how fast it would grow and how quickly it would grow fell off that pattern and that chart. And that's what caused the city, which only has a limited amount of resources through property taxes or shared revenue, to start making up the difference. Well, guess what? They didn't have enough money, and it was coming due. It was going to be due this year. 2023 was going to be the big year where they were going to have a lot more money to put in there. Fortunately, because of COVID relief money, federal dollars, and some pre-planning, they've been able to postpone that now to 2025. So the city is saying to the state, yes, we need money to help with more core services, but the one fiscal issue they have is to meet its obligation to its city workers in their pension to pay and put enough money in so people can retire on that pension.
So is it as black and white, Charles, as if they don't get help, core services will be cut? What does this mean for residents potentially?
So that's what you're hearing. I mean, the city has already cut 1,000 jobs since, I think, the early 2000s, right? And those have come in fire and police. And so, yes, the thought is if the city has to keep paying into this obligation, which it's required to do, it's not like they can just say, forget it. And by the way, these aren't new or enhanced benefits. This is not the same thing that happened with the county where there were some enhanced benefits. This is the city. And so, yes, they would have to either find a way to make that up, and the only way people talk about making it up is through additional cuts. This time they're talking as high as 25%. So when you talk about that fiscal cliff, when you talk to people who understand this issue and get deep into it, it's real, it's there, and something needs to be done now versus waiting until 2025.
And what kinds of workers are those people who could be cut by 25%?
So that's what we're talking about. That, you know, your biggest and most important in terms of public safety, firefighters, police, but you got DPW workers, you got library workers. I mean, you think of all the people and all the functions within the city. So these are the things, and the city's already been talking about this, that what the potential would mean if something doesn't happen where they can provide or have an option. This is why they're looking at this sales tax. The city of Milwaukee does not have a sales tax option. There's no revenue coming in specifically to the city based on the sales tax, and that's why this conversation is now around that 2 cents or 2% just for the city.
Charles Benson, TMJ4's chief political reporter. Always great depth. Thank you so much, Charles.
You're welcome.
It is 5:26 at WTMJ. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All in the green. The S&P 500 up 38 points today. The Dow closed up 115. The NASDAQ up 188. The Russell 2000 was up 188 as well. It's time to calibrate your plan. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button today. That's Annex Wealth Management.
Hey, baseball season is here, and your hometown pizza, Palermo's, has teamed up with the Milwaukee Milkmen to offer lucky fans a one-of-a-kind baseball experience. It's called Palermo's at the Plate. Win tickets to a Milwaukee Milkmen game, a game-time on-field experience, free Palermo's pizza, there you go, and more. Visit MilwaukeeMilkmen.com/Palermo's to enter for your chance to win. You can enter today to join Palermo's at the Plate with your Milwaukee Milkmen at MilwaukeeMilkmen.com/Palermo's.
Let's take a minute of R&R. R&R Insurance, that is. R&R Insurance does a great job of providing employee benefits to all of us here at Good Karma Brands. Business insurance seems to be getting more complex these days, though. To share some knowledge about this topic and its impact on business, here is Jeff Salasinski, VP of Insurance Operations at R&R Insurance.
Yeah, Vince, let me tell you what headwinds commercial insurance buyers are facing today. Catastrophic storms in the Midwest and South are destroying the earnings of insurance companies and driving premiums higher. Inflation, higher costs of capital, and economic uncertainty. If your agent's not discussing these important risk management topics and options with you, you're putting your business in jeopardy.
So, Jeff, what's the solution?
As the knowledge brokers, we bring deep industry knowledge and 48 years of local ownership and stability to today's market. As a business insurance top 100 agency, R&R Insurance is focused on you, the client, and protecting everything you've worked so hard for. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Amish outdoor furniture with poly and wood available. And that poly is the richest of outdoor furniture. It's just about indestructible and will virtually last forever. At Erickson's, we have poly furniture in abundance, so you're guaranteed to see a great selection. The beauty of it is you can put it outside all year round and not worry about it, because the color runs all the way through, so it doesn't fade, and minor nicks and scratches won't hurt the look. Erickson's Landscape Supply. For an abundant selection of poly and wood Amish outdoor furniture, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better selection of metal yard art than we have here at Erickson's. Anything from natural and painted metal signs to painted roosters from 1 to 6 feet tall. Natural steel flying ducks and cattails. Cute little frogs, geckos, pigs, flamingos, and goats. And palm trees. The list is endless. And that's why you come here. Erickson's Landscape Supply, right on Spring Street in Union Grove, where you'll find a fantastic array of artisanal metal yard art. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Or better yet, drive on over and take a gander at the goods.
J&J Contractors' skilled and certified team members use high-quality materials for all of your exterior needs. Roofing, siding, windows, and gutters. Contact them today. Just Google J&J Contractors.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, a drive-by killing on Milwaukee's north side.
I'm Sandy Max. Discord in Wisconsin for Republicans.
I'm Greg Matzik. Reboot effort for the Brewers required.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Things are easing up on the bypass, thank goodness, finally. Still a little bit tight out of the Mitchell interchange, but by the time you get to about Loomis or just a little bit past it, it starts to ease up. On the southbound side, still a little bit tight from about Beloit Road all the way around to about Forest Home. Westbound 94, you're going to see delays from before the Marquette all the way through the stadium interchange. The eastbound side heavy from 84th through the stadium, and northbound 41 backed up from the zoo all the way up past Mayfair Road up to Burleigh. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Traffic sponsored by J&J Contractors, Southeast Wisconsin's most trusted home remodeler since 1983. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 53 degrees. Tomorrow, some rain is likely and a high of 63. Breaking news this afternoon. Milwaukee police say a 44-year-old Georgia man was shot and killed while driving near Teutonia and Atkinson. TMJ4's Miriam Macker is on the scene.
This is a very gruesome scene right now. There have been a number of what looks to be family and friends crying, extremely emotional at the scene. We've heard reports that this could potentially be a drive-by shooting. There is a bus stop at Atkinson and Teutonia that has been completely crashed into, as well as a stop sign that's been down, and the vehicle that crashed into, reportedly, that bus stop and that stop sign is pulled over here with bullet holes in the window.
Senate Republicans and Assembly Republicans are at odds over a key ingredient in the shared revenue bill.
The measure passed by the Assembly Wednesday would require a referendum on a sales tax for Milwaukee City and County. The Assembly says the referendum must remain in place, but Senate Leader Devin LeMahieu tells the AP the Senate would likely remove that provision. So what happens now?
I've been in the same spots, both in the Assembly and then in the Senate,
Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow.
where we've had a bill, we negotiated it, one house passed it, the other house made changes, it brought back, we discussed it, and we passed it together.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Car makers Kia and Hyundai have agreed to a $200 million settlement after a class action lawsuit claiming a defect makes their cars easy to steal. Car theft victims in Milwaukee could receive part of the settlement. The problem started here when thieves, including a group of juveniles, self-dubbed the Kia Boys, began posting about how to steal cars on social media. Milwaukee law firm Barton Surjak filed the suit in 2021, saying cars from Kia and Hyundai represent 66% of all auto thefts in Milwaukee. Since then, at least 60 more lawsuits were filed against car companies across the country.
More than 1,000 pairs of shoes donated by Packers running back Aaron Jones. Many will be on the feet of young athletes from southeast Wisconsin. Jones offered 85 pairs to students at Milwaukee's Audubon Middle and High Schools.
Continue to strive for greatness and make an impact in these great communities.
As part of his Yards for Shoes campaign, Green Bay Packers running back Aaron Jones was at Audubon Middle and High School distributing 85 pairs of custom shoes. Speaking to the students, he and his mom expressed the importance of education.
I just want to advocate to them, hey, school is very important. Like, you to get to where you want to go, you got to go to school. So,
Tony Cartagena, WTMJ News.
The best in the world are struggling in New York. Greg explains next in sports.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:34.
Sports is sponsored by Holiday Automotive at Highway 23 in Fond du Lac. Holiday Automotive, it's worth the trip.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Greg Matzik for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. Hey, summer is near, and the Memorial Day sale at Holiday is here. Prime time to say yes to enticing offers on Wisconsin favorites from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Or explore the exceptional value and peace of mind of a GM-certified pre-owned model. Make Holiday your destination to get more vehicle for your buck, more for your trade, and enjoy award-winning guest care. It's the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. And I'm one of those fans, and know from my own personal experience, you'll be in excellent hands with Team Holiday on your side. Proud and grateful to be recognized as Buick Dealer of the Year per 2022 Buick Zone Sales Records. With selection expanding daily, you can choose one that's in stock today or reserve one that's on the way. Find yours and discover the difference during the Memorial Day sale at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and online at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta, and I have told you about the delicious pizza and Italian snacks that you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel. But now there's even more to be excited about. The restaurant has added new sandwiches to the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy items like the Red Rock Chicken BLT, the Meatball Hero, and more. Order from the counter at Proof or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
Grandview buys homes, and if you have a loved one's home that you need to sell, Grandview will make that process simple, fast, and stress-free. Grandview Homes will give you a no-obligation fair cash offer in as little as 24 hours, whether it's your home, a loved one's home, a rental, a vacant, or a second home. We buy all homes completely as is. No repairs whatsoever. Take just the belongings you wish to keep and leave the stress and the mess to us. Sell your home as is today. GrandviewHomes.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Block 1 of organized team activities begins Monday for the Packers. Rookies and veterans mixing for the first time. There are currently two kickers on the Packers roster. Parker White, He's a rookie. And 6th-round draft pick Anders Carlson. Carlson was in college when his brother Daniel kicked for the Raiders. Special teams coordinator Rich Bisaccia was with the Raiders at the time.
I had the ups and downs a little bit through college, but he's been there 6 years. You know, he stayed when he could have tried to come out. He's had an ACL injury. He's had a shoulder injury. I think he's a strong mental makeup person. I think he's been his best regardless of the circumstance. He's been in a lot of big games. He's kicked in a lot of different situations in the SEC. He's kicked in many bowl games. So I love his body structure and the power that he has and the ability to get stronger. And we're excited about where he's going to go forward.
Packers begin the preseason on Friday, August 11th on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Brewers begin a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays on Friday. Tampa Bay owns the best record in baseball despite today's loss to the Mets. Brewers remain a game up on the Pirates for first place in the NL Central. And round 1 of the PGA Championship, still a handful of players on the course. Bryson DeChambeau currently leading at 4 under par. Scotty Scheffler is 3 under par. Rough day for Jon Rahm, who finishes the day at 6 over. And Joel Domin's a PGA Tour pro who on the first hole hit a fan in the calf with his errant drive.
Yikes.
And the guy he hit took to Twitter and had this to say about Joel Dahmen. Said, hey, just caught a ball in the calf from Joel Dahmen off number 1. He came up to me and apologized and asked how much beers cost on the course. I told him $17 a pop. Pulled out a crisp $100 bill and bought beers for the guys in the traveling party with the fan who got hit in the back of the leg with an errant tee shot.
That's kind of a feel-good story, except you got cracked with a golf ball. But you
Worth
got
it.
$17 a pop for a beer.
That's what I was
crazy.
thinking, yeah.
It's not the Masters prices, that's for sure.
Also,
so you pull out a $100 bill and you can buy like 6 beers. That's amazing.
I love it that the pro golfers just sort of like carry their wallets and keys around.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, just get a snack at the turn.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, what's that bulge in his pocket? Oh, that's his wallet, like during
Always a
his
good
swing.
question.
Well, but you know what I mean.
Always a valid question.
Excellent. I'm just glad he didn't take a golf ball to the shin.
That's a
instead
very
of the
good point.
calf.
Yeah.
Oh.
Better in the back of the leg than the front.
That's a great story. 5:38 at WTMJ. Brian Disnansky up next.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a 6-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
Let's bring in the fittest meteorologist with the tightest polo shirts in southeast Wisconsin. This guy is flexing. He's forecasting. He's getting it done. He is Brian Disnansky. You're looking good, my man.
I'm blushing here at the Harley-Davidson Museum. Don't tell anybody. Sitting in the car here in the storm chaser. I had to flex down here, guys. There's a lot of tough guys down here.
That's
You know how
right.
that goes.
You can hang with all those bikers.
That's all right.
They got nothing on you.
All it needed was 70 degrees and the fleece comes off. But I will say, I was just talking to producer Adam here, and he was like, what do you got on, a schmedium? And I'm like, dude, honestly, this is a large. But, like, I don't know what Banana Republic is doing with their larges because this is definitely not a large.
Yeah,
Like, this might be the last time I wear this one. I threw it on first time, and I'm like, wait a minute.
It's all right.
Did I get the wrong...
In this selfie, Niz, you look tasteful in your steel gray polo. You don't look like you're fishing for compliments or, you know.
You're ripped, dude.
Yeah.
Start doing some
I don't know.
push-ups and really impress the bike riders
right.
tonight at
Yeah.
at bike night.
I would have a serious problem if, like, in between my, like, first and main weather, if I, like, go inside and just start cranking out push-ups. Quick.
Oh, that would be outstanding. Oh, that would be so good.
No, honestly, it's really cool down here, guys. They have their Thursday night concert series down here, and all the different bikers come in. They're from different parts of southeastern Wisconsin. They're showing off their bikes, and pretty soon the music's going to get going. And it's actually a really nice evening out here.
Yeah, it's a great venue down there.
And it's fun for non-riders just to see all the bikes and people who have pride in them. And some of them are really customized and enjoy music on a nice outdoor night. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? Like, I think a lot of people will have your stereotypical biker, but there are so many different walks of life down here. I mean, it truly is kind of a melting pot of Milwaukee down here, which I find fantastic. And then to mix it up even more, one of the cruise ships is in town, and they were dumping off passengers here earlier. You know, they had the tour buses, and they were walking around, taking in the sights. And I think this is exactly what they envisioned. You know what I mean? When you bring in people from around the world, bring them down here, check it out, and it was actually really cool to see.
Man, that is awesome. All right, Mr. Universe, what does tonight and the next couple of days look like?
You know, as we head into tonight, we do have that haze, that wildfire smoke. You may have noticed it again today. That's really not going anywhere, and it might even become a bigger of a problem late tonight and into tomorrow. I'll explain in a second. But we do have a chance of some showers and storms after midnight tonight. Low temperature of 54. Air quality alert goes into effect tomorrow for all of southeastern Wisconsin. Some of that smoke could actually work down to the surface to the point where our air quality goes down, and you might even be able to smell it during the day tomorrow. High temperature 63. Saturday, hazy sun 65. Hazy sun on Sunday 71. And then Monday, partly cloudy to mostly sunny 65. Inland 72. Overall, a really nice May weekend ahead if we could just kick away some of this wildfire smoke.
All right, good stuff. Brian Niznansky down at the HD Museum Complex. Good to talk to you. Thank you, Niz.
All right, yep, see you guys later.
543 at WTMJ. His polo didn't seem too tight,
I
did
didn't
it?
think so at all. I thought it was very
He looks
appropriate.
good, actually. He's very fit. I play pickleball with
I
him.
would say he's a pickleball king, isn't he?
He's like a jackrabbit. You can't. He is. He's like unstoppable. It's funny to watch him and Vetrano go at it.
It's a physical matchup that I wouldn't expect.
Vetrano's very good. Vetrano played college tennis, and he thinks he's good at pickleball, so it's fun to watch him.
A little trash talking.
Yeah, a lot of trash talking, that's for sure. We're playing tomorrow, as a matter of fact. 543 at WTMJ.
Are you ready to step up to the plate and test your skills? Join Steve every Friday at 10:35 for a rousing round of virtual baseball to win awesome prizes.
Oh, baby.
Steve Scaffidi's Virtual Baseball, presented by Siding Unlimited.
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Every Friday at 10:35.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here from my good friends at Griffin Hub, Milwaukee. They've got the vehicles, and they want to sell you one of them at a great price. Over 130 new vehicles in stock, ready to deliver. Great selection of new and pre-owned Dodge Chargers and Challengers, just in time for spring and summer. Check this out, the all-new 2024 Dodge Hornet at Griffin's Hub Chrysler Jeep Dodge.com, or call a trusted certified Dodge Hornet sales professional. They will hook you up. This is a sweet car. They've right now got over 90 pre-owned coupes, SUVs, and sedans available, starting at $8,000. That's it. They've got the selection. They're ready to deliver. Stop into Griffin's Hub today. And their service department is top tier. I know. I've had work done there. Griffin is honored to help those in our community who serve. Show your badge or ID card to get 15% off special savings on your next repairs. Some restrictions do apply. Good at all 5 Griffin service department locations. They're the best. Jim Griffin's team, they're on top of it. Sales and service. It's Griffin Hub, Milwaukee.
Make 2023 your year with a new career at John Deere Horicon Works. Their new starting wage is over $23 to $25 per hour, plus an annual John Deere profit sharing bonus and wage increase. And nothing beats the new benefits, including health insurance for your entire family with no premiums. Get a fresh start with the pay and benefits you deserve at John Deere Horicon Works. Apply now at deere.com/Horicon.
Stevie Nicks. One special night, August 8th, live at Fiserv Forum.
Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Stevie Nicks. Presented by FPC Live.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Traffic is sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years. Hey, Deb.
Hey there, John. We've got northbound 41, really kind of heavy, right out of the zoo interchange all the way up past Swan Boulevard. Right now, from the zoo to Highway Q, a 23-minute ride, and it's all localized right in that spot. So be careful with that. Eastbound 94, going to be slow from 84th Street through the stadium. The westbound side heavy from 25th through the stadium. And then on 894, technically southbound to eastbound, just north of the Hale interchange, where you're going to see the brake lights come on, and take that all the way on to 894 eastbound till you get past Forest Home. Then it starts to open up. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, a little bit of rain, a low of 54 degrees. Tomorrow, some showers, a high of 65. On Saturday, mostly sunny, 67. On Sunday, mostly sunny, 73. And on Monday, partly cloudy, a high of 65 degrees. It's currently 62. Earlier, we had a real special treat. Willie Porter, the talented musician, was with us live in the studio, American rock musician, getting ready to be inducted into the Wisconsin area music industry, the Whammy Hall of Fame. Here's our conversation with Willie Porter from earlier today.
So I went to the Exclusive Company off Brady Street on a Tuesday, and I walk in to get the Willie Porter album.
Say it with me.
And you're there playing
Exclusive